Look at that. Wow. Oh my God. Now that's what I'm talking about. That needs to be implemented in every machine. All right. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Ustride. Now, one in the chat if you guys can hear me. I have a completely different setup, as you can probably tell, So one in the chat if you guys can hear me. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Spartacus. I just worked on that, for like, 15 minutes, which is why I had to push it a little bit further. Part of the reason we had to push it a little bit further. All right, one. Good. All right, so hopefully my camera lasts because I just charged the battery and it's not connected to the wall. If it doesn't, I have another battery. I'll just plug it in. But so here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I just want to thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. It's been a while since I've done a live, and interestingly, I don't have any butterflies. So my camera is gonna start doing weird stuff, okay? Because it's gonna continue to try to focus and out of focus and all that. But I'm not gonna be the only one on the show. We have the Black Cobra, we have Sensei Vegan here, so we're just gonna discuss. The main topic basically is what's next for Inmotion, right? And the reason that we chose that, or I chose that as the title, is because after the talk we had with Inmotion, Sensei Vegan and I, we had pretty much a 2 hour discussion, guys, a 2 hour discussion, and I didn't really think it was going to be that long, but it was 2 hours, and so he did give a lot of information as well as answering your questions. Okay, so thank you guys for coming in. Let me bring in. Let me see what else I want to say. What else I want to say? I don't have much to say. I have Spartacus. So the Black Cobra is here. He says I'm jumping in with with him for chat. Spartacus, fire emoji. Appreciate that. The Punisher, you're checking out from Tallahassee, Florida. Awesome. Hey, I heard it's a lot of water down there. Or no, Tallahassee is probably different. I don't know Florida. I think of Florida, and I think Florida is all the same. But I saw on Facebook there was like a lot of flooding going on. So Florida, stay up. Palette Roof, hype as yeah. It was a nice intro. I appreciate that. I chose that music because the music was kind of low, so it's great, but the video was intense, so it was a good combination. I didn't want to put intense with intense. All right, so guys, as the people keep coming in, I have a list of things here to talk about with you guys. We'll see how long it goes. I'll go as long as my battery allows me, and if I don't, then I'll just let Black Cobra and Sensei take over. But Sensei's hype right now because it was a lot of information. All right, so hold on, guys. Sorry, my hair is like acting up. So is my camera, but that's all right. I'm gonna take myself off the screen, big screen right now, and just bring in the guys. But first, what I'm gonna say is a real shout out to Bob Yan, the CEO of Inmotion. The reason he contacted me is because he saw the video. He said, "Hey, we the whole team sat down and watched the video, and we thought it was fantastic." Honestly, let's be honest, guys. I think the reason he called is because of the suspension. It's not because of the video. Okay, I mean the video was nice, but one thing he did say is that he saw the video and he liked how it looked like a toy under my legs. So that was a brain booster for me there. Made my head a little bit bigger. But I'm glad that he saw it in action. So, but I really think the main reason was because of the suspension. But then he started going into all these other topics, other things that he started releasing. And I was like, man, I wish this was alive. Like, because someone had said on Facebook, "Hey, you tried, make it alive." I asked him. I said, "Sir, is it okay if we make it alive?" And he didn't want to. So, shout out to him. So I'm just gonna bring on Sensei Vegan for the first guest. And Sensei, here you are. Audio test. All right, good. You're good. You're
Mic
good.
check. Everything's good.
Yeah, you're good. So give us a quick breakdown of how you felt with that meeting we had, because that was a pretty intense meeting.
Right. Well, a big thank you to Bob Yan and Mark. I think the other guy was the.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, that was off the chain.
That was off the chain. Yeah,
it was. It was.
We have audio, but we don't know if we can release it. So.
Right. I tell people to stay tuned because Inmotion is going to be doing some great things. But I was really hyped up off the call. Again, thanks Bob Yan, Mark, the whole Inmotion team. And no, you did look good on a wheel, dude. So you got to give yourself some credit. I mean, that video was fantastic. And obviously, you must have dialed all the right buttons in the combination to get them to contact you. So
if you guys want someone to blame about the hour video, it's Sensei Vegan. Because before I released it, I called him. I'm like, dude, Sensei, it's an hour long. He's like, dude, I just watched. What was that movie you watched?
Oh, I was watching. No, I just watched. Is There Any Foods video, Mike?
No, man, it was
movie. John Wick.
John Wick, yeah.
John Wick.
He's like, John Wick was 3 hours long. Dude, an hour is nothing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I released it.
But nah, man, it's like people nowadays, if they don't want to watch something, they'll just fast forward through it. That's the way I look at it. And that video to me was fantastic.
Right.
And yeah.
Good. So I'm gonna bring I'm gonna bring. I don't want you to say too much right now, because as we talk, I want the Black Cobra to chirp in as well. So I'm gonna bring on Black Cobra. Black Cobra, you introduce yourself. Everybody already knows you, but still introduce yourself. And you're on mute. You're on mute, by the way.
Real quick. There we go.
There you go. Yep.
What's up, people? It's the man Black Cobra. You know the deal. The only thing missing is
I know. I don't have that. Oh man. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm excited to be here with y'all, man. It's just because the conversation was crazy. Oh, and I don't know if it's does somebody have something else on because I hear myself back. There you go. Oh, he muted his. I think I'm hearing it through yours, Ustride. But yeah, I'm really happy that Bob Yan reached out because when I started making videos on the V13 and the problems I was having, I was waiting for parts before you even got the wheel. So I was like, "Can you send the parts?" And they were like, "It's gonna take a long time." So they're like, "Go ahead and pass it on." And I'm like, "All right." And so I hadn't watched your video where the part popped out, and I was like, I'm not surprised because I told them that the whole thing needed to be replaced. I was like, it needs to be replaced. And I'm glad that they reached out to you because it like I said, it means they're listening, right? They're listening.
Yeah, no. And it took him no time to send the parts. First, E-Wheel sent the parts.
Yep, that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, he sent me one shock and he sent me assembly. But there was that screw that was missing. I don't think E-Wheels had it. And then Inmotion sent it to me. So it's very thin. That part needs to be robust because it's very, very thin, you know?
Yeah, and look, we're here to talk about Inmotion because they're doing a lot of big things, and you guys got a lot of information to share. I'm anxious to hear it because just so y'all know in the chat, I don't even know it yet. Like these two were privy to the conversation, and I'm like, yo, tell me what they said. Tell me what they said.
Dude, part of the reason we pushed the live another day is because we thought we could just go ahead and divulge all the information.
Yeah.
But we had to actually listen to the audio, the whole 2 hours. Well, I got 1 hour and 20 minutes. I had to listen to the whole thing and curate everything and then send it to him. And then, so.
You haven't got a response yet, right?
So moving on. The thing is
so, okay. The reason I'm saying all that because I'm honest, and somebody was saying, but your last video seemed like when I called it the super wheel or whatever, that seems like, just a paid commercial. I was like, no, because if you paid attention, I talk about what I don't like. And the suspension, the problems that we are having that's the big fault with this wheel. It's underserving the wheel. It's not robust enough for what this wheel can do. This wheel is like magic, yo. But the suspension is
to push back a little. So let's just get into. So to push back a little bit, he did say, right, Sensei. He did say that V13 was not meant for off-roading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an open road wheel, and I like banging downstairs and going off jumps and things. That suspension and the weight of that wheel, it's not going to be able to handle that for too long. Plus, the rider's weight too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
okay, you don't have to call me heavy. I know I'm heavy. That's fine.
What? No. All right. So let's So the first thing I wanted to do was answer a few questions that a few people had asked on the Inmotion channel. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't ask a ton of questions. It was only a few questions actually. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7, 8 questions. I thought it would be a lot more, but maybe people didn't know that Inmotion had posted that you guys could post questions so that Sensei Vegan and I can ask him. But I'm gonna go through the questionnaires right away because whoever asked those questions, I guess they wanted an answer ASAP. So let's get right into it, shall we?
Let's go.
And then you guys can add your 2 cents, obviously. And whenever you guys are ready, if you guys see some in the comments that we should address, you could address them.
Oh, I need to actually put that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, all right. So the first question was from Christopher James Bruno. Okay, so Christopher James Bruno, he's not on here. I don't see him on here. But I took these questions directly from the Inmotion channel on Facebook. So Christopher James Bruno asked, will the 60 mile per hour be unlocked for all riders or just content creators? That's a funny question. So the answer he gave was, oh, I'm sorry, he kept going. What are the actual qualifications to unlock the full potential? Okay, so he said, Bobbian said, it's not for everyone, only for those who are confident with their riding skills and have ridden at least 77 kilometers. Also, you will have to sign a waiver. So while
Right.
it is for everyone, it's not for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that makes sense to you guys, right? It's like, so basically they had asked me a while ago, they had asked me for my input, and they asked, hey, what's your opinion on whether or not they should unlock the wheel? And I said to them, I think every rider should have a profile, because you guys pretty much know everything about your wheel. If someone logs into your app, you pretty much know what's going on. So you can tell how someone rides. You know what I'm saying? And for me, for example, I'm constantly pushing a wheel. So you can always see where my threshold is, where my riding, where my top speed is, where my top average riding is, et cetera, et cetera. And then if I come to Inmotion and they see my riding profile is like aggressive, you know, always near the boundary of the wheel, or at least near it, they're more likely to give me a waiver. But that waiver is to protect them. Also protect yourself, but mostly it's to protect the company, because we're going to talk as to why later. But what do you guys have to say?
Okay. I don't think that they should have to pry into our accounts. I think that when they say waiver, here's the waiver, sign this waiver, you can get it unlocked, period. The 77 kilometers, my question is, are they saying that you have to do 77 kilometers on this specific wheel before they'll allow you to unlock it? Because that goes back to, you know, all the early wheels that were like, oh, you got to do, you know, 6 miles before the wheel goes more than 10 miles an hour or something, you know. And I felt like a little kid, like a school teacher was like, no, you can't go yet, Johnny. And
that was just Kingston.
Yeah, I know. But look, I wasn't ratting nobody out. Thanks a lot, Stride. Thanks a lot. but
oh, right.
But I think that's all. I think that if you are willing to sign the waiver, releasing them from responsibility, then you should be allowed to get the unlock code. Period. That's just my opinion. What you think, Sensei?
For me, well, I thought it was 750 kilometers.
Was it 750?
I thought
I probably wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, I think it was 7. Don't quote me. I think it is. I'm kind of mixed in a sense with unlocking the speed. Me personally, I think the wheel's fast enough.
It is.
I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, people say, 55, 50, not fast. I'm not telling you to do this, but jump out of the car going 50 miles an hour and try to keep up with it. You know what I mean? 50, that's fast.
It's fast.
It's fast. The other thing would be, now, even if they bear with me here. Even if they unlock the speed, how much faster is it really going to go? And I was trying to figure that out. I'm thinking,
well, I think it was 61
miles an hour.
Wasn't it 61 or
something
I
was thinking it's maybe 60, 61. Yeah, they're not going to have that thing go 70 miles an hour. They're not. And then that all depends on the battery, the weight. So you're lucky if you're going to squeeze out an extra 4 miles an hour. I'm just saying. I'm looking at it as in just like reality. You understand what I mean? As far as what you can really do, even unlocking it more. Because I mean that's nothing to sneeze at. 55 miles an hour, 56 miles an hour. That's flying.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just don't. I guess I want to unlock it just so I can have more headroom. But if it makes it more dangerous, then I don't need it.
Because the 20% is gone.
Yeah, well, it has enough headroom as it is. Like legit, it's the wheel's super powerful. I mean, you know, you stride and I can tell you. I don't even have you even ridden it,
I didn't get a chance to ride.
No, so I plan on going to New York to do a video with him. So that's what
I can tell you right now, and Ustride can attest to this, that wheel fast. So and it's not just that it's fast, it's stable fast. And that's what I loved about that wheel, because it feels huge and heavy, but you start riding it and it disappears. Like the huge heaviness is gone because all you feel is flow. I'm like, what? I was like, yo, 50 miles an hour, and this is it right here. I'm liking it. So I enjoyed the wheel. But again, I'm a Monster Pro lover. So, big wheels are what I love. And this was one of those that I like the fact that it changed Ustride's mind.
I don't know where Sensei went. But I remember when I asked you, when I picked up the wheel from you, that's the first question I asked you. I asked you, how did it feel? Like, because I remember when I experienced the Monster for the first time on Panda, it was Panda who had a Monster at the time. I didn't like it. Like, I'm not sure if it was the tire, but I couldn't stay upright. So, and I really had a hard time riding this thing. But then again, I don't know. We were on hills and grass and all that stuff that Panda likes to do. So I don't know. And then when I went to New York and I experienced, what's his name? Ronin for a little bit. I liked it, but I had to ride it in hard mode to feel anything, to really get some response from it.
That was on the Monster Pro?
On the Monster Pro, on the Monster Pro. I had to ride it in hard mode. So when I asked you, what was your experience? Because I at least wanted something in my mind to gauge it by. And then you were like, dude, listen, it's a heavy wheel, but the motor makes it feel extremely light. Once you start going, you won't even feel the weight. And that's immediately what I felt. So
it's now the Monster Pro. I had to ride the Monster Pro today because both my Sherman S and my Master are down for the count right now. So I went back on and I'm gonna tell y'all, I hate going back to non-suspension. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it really real right now. I can't stand going back to non-suspension after having all these suspension wheels because it's different. Now the Monster Pro, luckily, is the only wheel that has 24-inch tires, so it just rolls over shit anyway. So I was just boom. I was like, all right, I got it. But one of the guys with me, Mike Mack, had the Commander Pro with him. So I jumped on that. I just posted that on IG and TikTok real quick because I was like, ooh, cushy. I was like, that's what I want. I want all wheels to have that and to have that stable top speed. But yeah, the motor is so big and powerful that it really pushed me and made me feel comfortable. I mean, in traffic with everything. Now, when we go to New York, you have no choice but to ride in traffic. But when you're in other areas like the outskirts of Boston and when you're, other cities around Massachusetts, you don't have to ride in traffic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, you don't have to. There's plenty of back roads.
Yeah, so you can ride at back roads, you can ride bike trails, you can ride there's all kinds of places to ride to get where you need to go. But this wheel really made me feel comfortable and wanting to ride in traffic more because I felt comfortable at high speeds and it feels like a car. I'm like, this wheel's for real. This ain't no toy. This wheel's for real.
Suspension, man.
Inmotion did say, sorry for a second. Inmotion did say that they have two guys testing the top speed right now, unlocked. I think one of them is Mickey.
Right.
Is it Mickey or?
I think that's what he said. I
don't know who it was, but it was two guys not Mickey in New York. Maybe it is Mickey. Maybe it is Mickey in New York. I don't know. But he mentioned two guys, and they're out right now getting field information, and they're actually logged into the wheel to see the logs and all that stuff. But to answer QQ251647742 his question, and I guess he has the default. Oh shoot! What the?
And I apologize if I can't answer anyone's comments because I don't think I'm logged in. So what's up, everybody?
Oh yeah. You can't see anything?
I can see, but I can't type for some reason.
You can't. You can't do it because it's only he can type. But
only I can type. But you can see it. You should
pull it up on another device. That's what I did. So
I got you. That's how you do. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm typing.
So he asked, why why there isn't a stock street tire in the V13. That's a good question because he did say it's not for off-roading. So you would think it would be for the streets, but
Yeah,
I'm not
but
sure.
that tire though, people okay, there's a misconception. Okay, and people need to get this out of your head. For every wheel, knobby tire is not just for off-road. And I know that that's what we think because we go, oh, knobby, you gotta have, but the Sherman is the wheel that made that clear. The Sherman is not an off-road wheel. It just does really well with that knobby tire.
That Kenda 6.2, that 262. That's what I have in my RS. And that tire is nasty,
crazy, dude. Yo. And you can go really fast on that tire.
It's stable,
and feel comfortable and stable. So it's not just that it's for off-road. That's not what it's for. It's just stable at high speeds. And I like that tire. I like those tires.
And what's cool about it is it's not. So I had the worst experience I've had on a knobby tire was the Hero.
Oh yeah, that Hero, man, it was like straight tip over, straight. It would do my heart. I thought I was going down in front of everybody on that wheel, man.
Yeah. That was a scary knobby tire.
That one and the what's the other one? The EX20S. What is it?
I never rode that one.
The EX20. The Go George Go has.
Yeah, I remember that video you ride that thing.
Yo, both those tires did that same thing to me. It was like, oh shit! I was like, yo, my heart. I was like, my heart can't take that. I was like, what kind of tire is that?
So to Cobra's point, the S22, whatever tire that was, and this particular tire with the V13 are the best experience I've ever had. I feel nothing when it comes to like trying to like throw me to the left or right. I honestly feel it's a street tire just with a lot of grip, a lot of knobs, but so I don't know. I think Cobra answered that question, QQ.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. It's a misconception.
It doesn't need to come with a street tire. That tire that's on it is really good. Now, some people absolutely want a street tire, and if your mind is like, I gotta have a street tire, then go ahead. Throw the City Pro on it or whatever. I got the City Pro on my Monster Pro, and I love it because it's a street tire, but it's an aggressive street tire. So I mean, you can get away with that. But some of these, and it's also the rim. On the wheel, because the rim and the way the tire sits on the rim, the Hero and the EX20, the rim and the tire together, it gave a flat profile. So the edge of the tire,
it was terrible. Oh my god, this one's rounded.
Yeah, you went from a flat surface and then it just flopped over to the side, whereas this one is rounded and it just glides over. So you have that nice, carving on this was like, high speed carving. I was like,
no, I mean, if you look at my video, dude, the tire was the least of my worries, So
you look smooth in the video, man.
Least of my worries. So I hope that answers your question. I think he's right. Before the Sherman came out, it was pretty much like street tire all the way, because pretty much all their wheels was pretty much street tires. I think the MSP might have a knobby, but that wasn't like a thing, because even that knobby didn't make that sound that the Sherman did at the time. So so it's just a misconception. I think it's a great street tire in my opinion, but if you want an actual street tire, then go ahead, put a street tire in that. I think you might have a better experience in terms of.
In the chat, my EUC journey said my absolute 3 favorite EUC YouTubers. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Joro. Yo, he's
a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
So Stan asked the question. He said, "Can Inmotion's V13 suspension be completely removed? If so, are all the parts included with the purchase?" I think you could answer that, Cobra.
Yes, it can be completely removed, and there's these block things that are in the box, and they have a video on it, I believe. So you can pull the whole suspension out, and then you put these pieces in there to block off that area where the suspension was, and it locks it off and makes it a non-suspension wheel. But honestly, even though I said this suspension underserves this wheel, it still wouldn't be the same wheel without suspension.
Right.
I still think that as heavy and as big as this wheel is, it needs the little bit of suspension it does have to give you that little added extra confidence that you get on the wheel.
But I think so. He said completely removed. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So what you're referring to is pretty much like a suspension lock.
No,
But
you
he's
take it out. You
can take it
completely
out.
remove it. They have.
So is that the suspension delete?
I guess that's what you call it, whatever. But it could, you completely take off the suspension and you put in these locking blocks or whatever,
Yeah.
and it locks off the whole wheel, so it's no longer a suspension wheel.
Coogee did it.
Yeah,
Coogee
it turns it into a completely non-suspension wheel.
Right.
I don't think that's a good idea. I honestly wish this just had some hydraulic oil suspension, and we'd be good.
Well, what I think he said, Stride, I don't know. Don't quote me, everybody. But I thought I heard him say that all wheels aren't going to come with that. There's only a few going to come with it now, as far as the lock.
No, that's what he said. Yeah,
he said not all wheels are coming with it. It was like I don't know if it was like select. He almost said it's almost like a prize now. Not every box is going to have it in there.
Okay,
so it'll be like a surprise
because he said there was no demand for it.
Right. Oh. He said not enough people are ordering it.
Right. And that would save the money, because they're metal. Like the pieces that they're putting in there are these solid metal pieces that go into the wheel. So if they don't got to add that, I don't blame them. If y'all don't want it, we ain't giving it to you.
All right. So I hope that answers your question, man. I believe Marty has a video on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So Charles Dixon, which is Sensei Vegan, in case you guys don't know, he did ask. He said, "Are you going to boost the torque of the V13?" Now, before I answer that question, why did you ask that question?
I asked that because the videos that I was watching, people kept saying that the wheel didn't have enough torque.
No, see
that's what I mean. I've heard. Now I don't want to put anybody on blast.
No,
that's some riders were saying that it didn't have as much torque as the V11.
See, but listen.
I rode the V11.
Yeah, when you say as much torque as the V11, okay, we're talking about a wheel that weighs half as much, right? And we're talking about when you like off the line. Imagine the difference between I don't know, a jaguar and an elephant. Which one's gonna get off the line fast? you understand? Like it's a heavy ass.
I wouldn't. I'm gonna stop you right there. I wouldn't classify it as an elephant.
No.
I would basically say okay. So I would say a Jaguar, as in the car, versus a BMW X5.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. It's not that it doesn't have torque. It's like you may not notice the torque as much as you would on a lighter wheel, a smaller wheel, but it's got power for days. But if you're looking for off the line torque, get a Master with Molicel batteries that can blast off like a rocket off the line.
Yeah, because I was watching other review videos and some riders were saying, well, it's like a wheel that's easy to overpower. You know, you would see them scooting, you would see like dip and stuff. So that's why I asked about.
Wait, who? I'm curious. No, I'm curious because
I'll tell you off the air. Yeah, because I don't want any smoke. I don't want any smoke, man.
No, the reason I
don't want to have to be explaining myself and people making response videos to me.
What do you mean? That's a sensei. That's gonna boost your channel,
dude. I don't want that kind of boost, bro. I'm trying to fly under the radar.
Sensei's hilarious.
No, they look that,
and you know they don't come after the vegan, bro. You know they don't come after.
Only the vegan, not the meat eaters.
If they were able to do that, God bless them, because that wheel, I didn't feel that at all. And I saw Wrong Way do a video on it, and he did do it. He did do it. But I think that's typical of any wheel. If you do it, so my pads, they're not aggressive pads. They're pads designed just for me. I like my legs out. I don't like it strapped in. But if you have one of those pads that really lock you in, there's not much leverage. So if you're this close to the torque pad and you torque it real quick with your upper shin, you will be able to kind of over torque it. But that's typical for any wheel for the most part. And like you said, Cobra, it is a bigger wheel.
So it's not you're not gonna get that immediate torque. What you're gonna get is great torque when you're already at speed and you want to take it to another speed. Like if you're doing like 25 miles an hour and you really want to get to 40, that wheel will get you there. You know what I mean?
It's like dropping a gear.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think honestly, like I said, I watched the videos and things, but for me, an open road wheel, that's what you want.
Yeah,
that's what
you want it to kick in above 30 miles an hour. You don't want to be topping out.
Exactly.
At that 35, or you're beeping at 36. Not on a wheel like that anyway.
This is not, like I said, this is not the off the line, Ferrari wheel. This is not that, but this is and I considered it and I compared it to a super wheel. Some of the biggest reasons were, number one, how it looks, how it's built, the density, the quality. Like it looks like a Ferrari or something. If you're talking about cars and you look at a Ferrari, you're like, damn, that's wow. And then when I put those orange pads on that wheel, and people were like, damn, wow. So I was like, listen, I felt like I was on a Ferrari or something. Like if it had that look, and then at high speed, it had that feel. I was like, this thing is amazing. But it does have its shortfalls. There are things that the suspension is one of them. I really wish the suspension was better. I wish it was one of the, now it doesn't have to be fast ace, but I mean that style suspension. And I really wish the price was lower. That just hurts my feelings. Like it does. It hurts my feelings, super chat. You got a super chat over there, a little donation. Okay.
Right. Let me see. How do I even?
Yeah. But, the price is definitely steep, but we actually have information to address that. Yeah. So.
Okay, shout out to Stan. I really appreciated Stan for the $9.99.
Yeah.
He says all of the EUC companies have decided for the 126 configuration, except for. Oh, hold on, wait. Okay, so you guys got to correct me on this because okay, so I'll finish it. It says, is the 134 volt configuration a marketing scheme or is it noticeably different? To take note. Thanks. Okay, so when I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, you're hearing the echo again. I hear it too.
It just came out of nowhere.
No, and it's weird because it seems like it's on your end, unless
well, I got a headphone.
No, but
how's it?
Oh, you're good now. You're good.
It's good. Was it yours? Did you have another thing on?
Well, I just have my mic on. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look because I don't want to guess. Yeah. Let's take a look at this page right here. So this is still back again. Can you? Maybe I could mute you guys and then are you guys good now? Okay, I don't hear it anymore.
It sounds good.
I don't hear it. All right, so if we look at this page, okay, I hear it. Hello, testing. Yeah, it's there. Hold on.
See, I don't hear anything on my end.
Testing. Okay, it's not you, Cobra. Testing. Okay, so it's gone. All right, so if we look here, right? If we scroll down to this, can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
All right, so if we go down, what we see here is the stats, right? And I was paying attention to the stat. And if you look, it says the battery, hold on, where is it? Okay, there we go. Okay, so the battery, correct me guys if I'm wrong here, but it says the battery is rated at 108 volts. Okay? The 164 volt or the 126 volt in this case is the max charger output voltage.
Yeah.
So by all effects, it looks like the wheel is 108. Can somebody correct me if I'm wrong?
No, I think that's a
typo.
A mistake there. Yeah.
I think it's 120. I thought it was 126.
Yeah, there's no 108 volt.
Yeah. What is
that?
this?
That's not even a thing. So I don't know how that's. It says the rating.
Let me go to who else is selling that wheel?
Yeah, go to you can
Alien
go
Rides.
Alien
Rides. Rev Rides don't have it. E-Rides.
You can even free motion.
Oh, there we go. All right, so let's see what he says. Okay, so it's 126 volts.
Yeah,
typo. I gotta tell E-Wheels.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. the way that, but you know, some of the things when you look at what they post from China, and when you some of the things, there's, if you look close, there's more than one typo you might be able to find when they're converting it over, but which is weird because it's numbers. I can see them when they convert over English, the language, then you see some mistakes, but I'm surprised with the numbers. But
so to answer his question, does anybody have an answer?
well, yeah, all of the EUC companies have decided for the 126 volt configuration, except for Bigold. Is 134 volt configuration a marketing scheme, or is it noticeably different? To take note, now it's not that all have decided on the 126 volt. Right. That's just where we went to next, and then the 134 volt. We made some jumps. I agree, we made some jumps a little too fast, but the Sherman S is 100, still 100 volt. And I'm hoping that they have finally decided to stay at 126 volts, which I think would be good. But the Sherman S proved that 100 volts is still viable. You know, so you can't say that it's not. And exactly. like I said in my review video of it, I think we skipped. I think we went to 100 volt, and then boom, we jumped to a 126, and then boom, we jumped to 134. So I mean, I don't think it's a marketing scheme. I think they're continuing to push the envelope. That's just Bigold being Bigold. They continue to push and push and push. Okay.
So what I found here was, do you have something to say, Sensei? Or
yeah, I was just going to say 100% that 100 volt wheels are still relevant. Look at the last AMP games you were at,
right?
Yeah. EXN
won
it.
Yeah,
EXN won
at Eastgate Con.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to prove in California, but I couldn't do it. But that guy did it with the EXN. I was trying to prove that 100 volt is still capable.
Yeah.
And that guy did it beautifully.
Yeah. Hey,
Mario. I think his name is Mario.
Mario Chacon. Mario's a great dude too. He not only did he win the EUC race, but he almost won the skateboard race.
Nice.
Oh wow.
He was number 2, and they were fighting for it.
Nice. Right.
Yeah. But that track was a little different though. It was kind of more to his advantage, because I looked at the track, and it was a lot more tight. It was a lot tighter quarters. If you look, compared to
more to his advantage,
because he has a smaller wheel, and the other wheels are tall.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
That's how I won with the V11, because it was tight turns and tight.
Right, it was tight turns and tight corners, and in California the track was wide, and there were like stretches, and like there were like probably 2 turns where it was tight, but your track was very technical. So to answer, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So to answer Stan's question a little bit more direct here, I just typed in what's the benefit of higher voltage, right? And it says a higher voltage system allows a lower current to be used when charging the battery. Okay, that's charging, which reduces overheating and allows better power retention in the system. The power can be used towards a long driving range, which is good. Higher voltage systems also offer a number of key weight and saving advantage. Interesting. Okay, so I guess someone to answer that question would be Roger.
Yeah, well, because and what I've been told is that it's safer, and that's basically what that was saying. It's safer when you're charging. It's safer for us, pretty much. Period. The higher voltage, and it's easier for them. Now, the fact that we can't get a lot of things, though, you know, the long shipping times, availability of certain cells, that's why they're only doing the Samsung 50E cells. They're safe, but they're also readily available. So that plays into it too. But I think that the higher the voltage, all I keep hearing is it makes it safer.
Yeah, because I rode the Master when I was in California, and I was really expecting that torque that everyone was talking about. And I'm not sure if it's because of how the guy had the settings or whatever, but I did not feel that crazy off the line torque, to be honest with you. It is there. It's just I didn't really feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you need to ride it more, though.
Maybe, yeah.
I'll be honest.
Because here's the thing, right? If what's his name? The guy I went with,
Zen
Lee.
Yep.
So Zen Lee, when he was training me, when I got comfortable, I was constantly beating him off the line. And he was shocked. He kept saying that. I'm not putting these words in his mouth.
Right.
He kept saying, how in the world are you keeping up with me with this 100-volt wheel? As if because some people don't really push all their wheels, right? So just because you have 124 volt, 126, 134 volt, it doesn't mean you're going to actually push that wheel to its fullest potential. So in many cases, what's the purpose of the 134 volt except for reliability? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's the rider and the equipment. It's always that. It always takes the pair, because some people have the better equipment but just don't ride as technical. They don't ride as hard, and they're not as daring.
That's so true.
Yeah, it takes a lot to push that wheel and wring all of its energy and juice out of it at the right time. It's not something that you can do lightheartedly. It's scary.
Yeah. So back to Sensei's question, could he boost the torque of the V13? He said when you increase one, you lose the other one. So this is where Inmotion is going to do something very amazing, okay, very innovative for them. What they're going to do, instead of increasing the torque of the V13, they're going to release 4 different category wheels, okay? So this is news for you guys. Inmotion will be releasing 4 new category wheels, and here they are. The first one is called the Courage, okay? So it sounds, but they have names.
It sounds good.
They have it sounds great. Okay, that's all right. So, so the first one, the first one is Courage, and the Courage is basically intro wheels. So what Inmotion has decided to do was go back to all of their old wheels. That is the V5, V5F, V8, V10, V10F. And what they're going to do is they're going to redesign the whole thing. Okay, they're going to redesign the entire thing, and they're going to come up with a design philosophy that will stretch across all of their designs. So the Courage is to introduce people into the world of EUCs. Okay, maybe use it as a last mile device or whatever. The next one is the Challenger series. Okay, is that what it is, Sensei?
Challenger.
Yeah, the Challenger series. Basically, it's what we have right now with the V13.
Yeah, V13.
Okay. Yeah, but but the V13 that you have right now, and we probably shouldn't say this because maybe it'll reduce sales of the current V13. but basically what they're trying to say is that the V13 as it is right now will possibly, okay, I'm going to say possibly, I don't know, will be the only V13 to have 3,024 watt hours. The other ones will be much higher. I didn't ask specifics, but they will be much higher. And then they have so that will be for the street. That's a street wheel.
Street road wheel.
Yeah, it's a road wheel, exactly. Then you have the adventure wheel. So the adventure wheel or category of wheels is all about torque. Okay, so this is a wheel that's not really designed for speed. It doesn't mean there won't be speed, but it's all about torque. You can throw it around, you can jump, you can go off-roading, trails, all those crazy stuff that you guys want to do with an Inmotion wheel. You'll be able to do it with this wheel, and you won't have any desire or lack thereof of torque. And then finally, you have the Journey wheel. Obviously, you know what that is. That's all about range. Okay,
or so is that the Explorer or Journey? Explorer or Journey?
You know what? I messed that up. That's Explorer.
Right.
That's Explorer. Thanks for that. Yeah, so the Explorer wheel, exactly. So that's all about range. Go ahead, Sensei, if you want to.
No, I said it. It's going to be that's the Marty wheel.
That's the Marty wheel. Marty will not come back.
Where'd Marty go? I don't know. We lost
He's
him.
In Jersey.
He's in
California, Jersey.
That's the Marty and Panda wheel.
Panda. That's another one.
Marty
Panda
wheel, bro. Yeah. That's awesome though.
Oh man.
So everyone have their own. If you like to ride trails, go for the adventure. If 4 wheels, 4 different styles that's going to accompany the riders, dude, that's going to be awesome.
But these are not 4 wheels, I believe. These are 4 categories.
That's what I meant. Yeah. 4 categories. I think that's smart.
I think it is smart because they're not going to try to please everyone with one wheel. You can't do that. It's really tough. I mean, even even Big Goat is having a difficult time doing that, and they're notorious for releasing whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah,
and they still can't please anyone.
Look, they may not be getting everybody's exactly what you want, but they throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. Because those are the things, yo, they making every wheel under the sun. I just saw the extreme. I'm like, oh
Extreme.
shoot. I was like, nah, I want that. But they were like,
That-
hey, it's a smaller wheel. I was like, oh, okay.
Now, wasn't that didn't Chance Chance
Supposedly
helped him design it or
helped him
something?
design it. Yeah, it looks dope. And
It
what
does.
it just happens to have orange on it.
I
Like,
wonder
You know,
why.
I know it happens.
Just
like
happens,
really, dude. Like, oh my god.
happens to have orange.
If it's working, and now Kingsong has the orange with their new S19. So I guess if it's working,
Hold on a second.
copy it.
Yeah, I get.
All right. So Daniel Lawson asked, I assume the V13 was built. I'm sorry. He said, I assume, not me. He was talking to Bob or Inmotion. He said, I assume you built the V13 with a 55 mile per hour speed limit for a good reason. Why are you now succumbing to pressure to increase that limit and introducing lower risk margin? That's a really good question. And he laughed at that. That was a really good question.
Pressure. That's why. Pressure.
Yeah. He said, so this is what he said. This is his response, Daniel Lawson. He said he got a lot of emails saying to do so. Very simple. One of the guys, I guess he said they were used to riding fast with Gotway wheels and they wanted the freedom to do so. The one guy said the manufacturer shouldn't have the right to limit the wheel's performance.
Right. Didn't they build it?
I know. Didn't they build it? Because I was telling Sensei they limit cars all the time. Like car was like 160. It does 145, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
All cars have more horsepower underneath the hood.
Yeah, all of them. So otherwise they would cut out.
Right.
What
All
happened?
cars,
my Toyota cut out.
Toyota cut out. So what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Obviously, they have to be able to limit the wheel. People don't want look. That was Bigod's philosophy before, right? It was
right.
give them everything, and then people cut out, and you're like, okay, maybe not give them everything. And Inmotion was the opposite. They were like, let me give you less because I don't want you to be able to cut out. And I'm like, right. I get both philosophies because I think that Bigod is giving you what you asked for. They were giving you what you want. You wanted performance. You wanted that high. I'm gonna give you every inch of what I can give you in this wheel. And then Inmotion is like, well, no, because I don't want you to kill yourself. I'm gonna give you a good amount, but I'm not gonna give you all of it. So I mean, I understand both camps. I just think that it's all of I like the safety idea. I just think they need to build the wheel so that it can go fast enough and then allow you to go where it's safe. I don't think we need to go faster than 55.
I don't either.
I honestly don't think so too.
I think 55 should be the cutoff.
I like the idea of a speed unlock at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, I've always said that, but not to do it, just so I know that there is that buffer. Yeah, but they made that clear a long time ago. So, but I think the manufacturer should absolutely. In fact, Inmotion has always limited their wheels.
Yeah, it was a problem before. People got mad at them for it. Right. Some people said, "Oh, I would never ride an Inmotion." I'm not going to say who, but
Do you know if there's a Bigod wheel out there that can consistently do 55 miles an hour with no worries? I don't know of any.
Yeah, a Bigod, you said?
Well, minus the Master X, minus the Master
Pro.
Oh, the Master Pro can do that easily?
Yeah, the Master Pro that's the high range, high speed wheel. The only one that I think can edge it out and only by maybe 1 or 2 miles per hour is the V13. But
what about the EX30?
Oh, EX30. I completely forgot about that. Yep. Yeah. EX30, and that has the more powerful motor.
Oh, wait, you've seen someone do that? Ride the EX30 at 55 miles an hour?
What did Dawn get it at?
Didn't she crash it though?
Yeah, but she did like 56 miles an hour.
Yeah.
She crashed
she got that thing up there.
She crashed and then got up and kept riding.
At 56 miles an hour?
Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn's
hey,
Dawn. She's
her
another
name
Wait, hold on. Why did she crash?
I can't remember right now off the top of my head. It wasn't
because of the speed, right?
No.
Oh,
The wheel didn't fail her. I forgot what she said happened.
Okay.
But yeah, she still has all confidence in that wheel.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the EX30 has the most powerful motor that they have. And it's like what is it? The C30 motor or
C40.
C40 motor rather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I heard.
So that one is, and it's hefty, but that too I feel has an under serving suspension.
Mm.
I liked Don's,
But it is a street wheel though.
yeah. I get that. I'm just saying that when I get on it, the feeling I feel on it feels weird. Like I got on
Oh,
Roger.
you got on it?
Yeah, I got on two of them in California, and not California, in Vegas. I got on Rogers. And Rogers, I didn't like the way he has his suspension set up. It felt hard. Like
That was the EX30 or the
EX30.
Okay.
EX30. Yeah, they both had EX30s out there. So I got on his and I was like, I didn't like it. I was bouncing. I was like, I gave it right back to him. I was like,
wow,
nah,
it was that
I'm
bad.
good.
Wow.
I'm good. And well, I'm not
Well, to his credit, doesn't he like to race? So
Yes.
most race people, don't
That's
they like
why-
to lock their suspension or at least have it really hard?
when he races, he really does like he locks it. And yes, that's why I was like, give it back to him. So then Dawn had hers. And I got on Dawn's and I said, oh, this is better. Like hers was at least working like I think it's supposed to work.
a little cushy.
But my problem is I'm spoiled because the Sherman S
Right.
Wow, is
and
that
the
much
Commander
better?
Pro are just cushy.
Now,
Right.
question: those are both oil-filled shocks too, right?
Yes, those are the same type,
that could
type.
be it.
The Fast Ace
Wait,
hydraulic.
what's the V13? Is it not hydraulic?
No,
No.
that's air. That's
It's
just
air. Oh yeah, you're right. I had to put air in there myself.
Yeah, that's just air, and it's basically a hyped up V11 suspension.
And yeah. So we're gonna talk about their suspension in the future, what they're gonna work on. Okay, cool. So moving on. We have another one that's Deej A. Okay, Deej A. Deejeh. He says, I've already asked Bob, but I want more pressure on one so this was interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. He says, I've already asked Bob, but I want more pressure on one specific thing missing from the app. Okay. He said, would you ask them to add to the app an option to change or correct for tire size? It's not the biggest deal, but let's not forget about it. And this is what his response is, Deej. He says, we have a couple of street tire V13s and that's you. That's still you. They're ever so slightly off. So Bob did say they're looking into that. I don't think he went deep into it.
Nah, he didn't go.
Yeah, he didn't go deep into it, which is why I didn't have an answer. But speed correction, wow, interesting. Have you guys had to worry about that regarding the type of tire you put on your rim and then having to adjust for speed?
I've never had that issue, but again, I don't push it that much for that long a period of time that I'm worried about the difference from one tire to another. But people like Don and Roger, they are really into like the specs of racing and speed, and so maybe that does make a difference to where he would need but I think that they would look for more people to have a problem with it before they decide to make a change.
Because what I'm getting here from what he's saying is that if you have a certain tire and then the app registers the speed for that tire at, like, let's say 25 miles an hour.
Right.
And then you put another tire, like a knobby, like insanely knobby tire. And then now the speed, you're doing 25 miles an hour, but the app might display something completely different.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that different. But yes, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it would be different enough that you would need a place in the app to. Well, okay. In the app, you know how you have to, like in Darkness Bot today, it happened to Showtime when she was with us. She was trying to set her master and she had it set as an MCM5.
Right.
She was wondering why the app was like beeping and doing all kinds of weird stuff. And
wow.
She's like, I'm like, what you doing over there? And then she finally figured it out. She's like, oh, it was set as an MCM5. And I'm like,
that's funny.
Because the app knows that an MCM5 should only be doing this or can only do this.
Right.
So it does know the
Right.
difference. So now this guy's talking about the tire size. I'm sure that it may make a difference in the app if they did allow for that, but I
Oh,
don't know. I don't
so
know.
sorry. So Bobby N did actually answer that question. So that's why he didn't answer. I didn't write down the answer to his question because he didn't give an answer. He gave an answer on the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bobbian says yes. Speed correction should be a feature enabled in all UIs. Please be the first UC. Okay, he said okay. Bobbian says he has added this to the requirement pool in the R&D department. Every month they will have this in their requirement. So okay, so the person who was asking, which is Brian Young, he responded to Dij and he said, this should be something in all the UIs. Please don't forget this. And then Bobbian says, we are considering this in the requirement pool in the R&D department and they're going over it. So this is something I guess you could look forward to. But right now, it's not in the app.
Right. I think going from like a knobby to a street wouldn't be a big deal. Now, if you're going from a different size, like a 22 down to an 18, then that'd be different. I mean, you can even see that with bicycles and motorcycles, any of that type of stuff. But going from a street tire to a knobby, I don't think you're going to notice much or anything at all.
Not enough to need another drop down. I mean, but maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Wow.
I did want to say, I meant to say this to Spartacus in the chat. I agree with you. Shinko 244, baby. Ooh. That's the wheel.
That is a good wheel.
That tire is my favorite tire.
I rode that on an RS.
Yeah, it's on my master back there, and man, that tire is cray to the Z. I love it. I can't wait to get my master back up and running.
Oh man, yeah. All right, so Darnell Rucker, he said, my question to Inmotion, are there any plans to release a 3600 watt hour version or another wheel that's saying of the V13 or another wheel down the road for those who want more range? Thank you for giving us more safety features. I look forward to what you guys will release down the road. And in simple answer, Bob said, yes, new models will have more capacity. And I asked him when. He said around autumn.
Bang!
Yeah, he calls it
something coming.
Yeah, he calls it the Challenger Series, not an upgrade.
So there's more than one wheel then. Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a Challenger Series.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. More than one wheel. So okay. That works. That works. Robert Paulson says, my question is, why did they decide not to send a suspension delete system? We already discussed this. The answer is because there was not a lot of demand. And then the last question is from George Bervin. He said, comment to Inmotion. The V13 is at a competitive disadvantage versus other wheels in this category due to the inability for the consumers to alter, refine, replace the shock cylinders with comparable or upgraded aftermarket parts. Will Inmotion consider designing future suspension systems so that high-performance parts replacement is possible? Parts interchangeably is critical to sustainable growth for sales and service. The wheel that is the most easily serviced and upgraded has the competitive advantage over top speed and design aesthetic. True modular design means modifications are encouraged by design. Will you do this in the future? And Bob actually liked this question. His answer simply is yes. They will do this in the future. Modular design is one of the key features they will be designing in the future. As a matter of fact, when we asked him about referring to the question about suspension, he said they will include linkages in their suspension system, and they are looking toward more true suspension, no more of that pogo stick stuff in all their wheels.
So that means that's wheels throughout the whole board too.
Yeah.
That means even from the Curd series on up, they're looking into doing suspension. So
yeah, that means they're going to the gold style suspension with the linkage and the which mean and that means I mean, I like the idea of that because you can change it. I just don't know that I have found anything yet that is as nice as the hydraulic oil suspension. Like I tried Marty has a spring in his master. He put a spring coil instead of the shock that the air shock that was on it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, it had a weird feel to it. I was like, all right, this is different. This is different, but it still felt like it wasn't enough for me.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I needed a spring that was stronger for me. And I was like, oh, that's an idea. So I like the fact that you can change it. And I thought that was the hands down best way to go with suspension until I tried the hydraulic oil. And I'm like, damn, this just made me all upset now because I'm spoiled.
No, I just need to experience more suspension wheels because I'll be honest with you, your suspension setting, whatever that was pretty good for me. I didn't really look for suspension in the wheel. I only wanted it to just get the edge off, like Sensei always says. That's it. I don't really need that much suspension. But I'll tell you what, there was some gaps in the road that these utility companies never fill. And it did come in handy because I was like,
yeah,
I'm like, nice.
That's all you need. And honestly, I didn't really do much to it at all. When I tried to make the adjustments is when it was all jacked up. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm getting what I'm getting. I'm just gonna and it was like you said, just enough. But somebody in the chat, I'm trying to find it and I can't find it. I lost it. But to answer our question about speed, somebody said that show did 60 miles an hour on the EX30.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Let me find that. Where is
I didn't see that video, and I'm looking in the chat trying to find who said it, but he said that show did 60 miles an hour on the EX30, and I don't see it now. I don't know if he erased the
it's right here. It's right here. But remember, keep in mind, Show is a very light guy.
Yeah, he's paper light.
He weighs nothing.
Yeah,
but it's still very impressive to know that.
And he's fearless though. He weighs nothing and he's fearless. So
he has no gear except his head.
Yeah,
I mean,
he has no gear but his head. That is funny.
That sounded funny as hell.
His helmet.
He has no gear but his head.
Actually, that would be a good
like
shirt.
A big bobblehead doll.
That's actually a good shirt because a lot of people don't like helmets. No gear but my head.
I think that I don't know if it's the case, but I think they may have made him wear it because he's representing others and he's doing a whole lot of things. So I think they were like, "Hey, dude, you at least got to put a helmet on." Yeah.
So the Inmotion, I don't know if you and anyone in the chat, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I'm gonna read your chats in a little bit. I just want to flow, and I don't want it to interrupt the flow because I don't want the live to be crazy long. Yeah. I want it to be short and concise. And long if it needs to be, but still has the information that needs to be in there. So, but like I said, you guys are doing a great job of capturing their comments because I can't see all the comments. But one of the Black Cobra and anyone in the chat, let me know if you experience this. When I charge the Inmotion, right, and I charge it to like maybe 98%, 97%, and I unplug it and I turn it on, right, because I face it down to charge it, right, obviously. Yep. And then I unplug it, I put it up, I turn it on. There's this error warning on there that says, please be safe, please be careful. Some of the battery packs are not on or something like that. Please write careful.
I saw your video when you put that up. I never got that.
Really?
I never got that. Matter of fact, I was watching your video and I said, oh shit. I sat up because I was like, oh hell no, I didn't get that warning.
Yeah, another guy got it, but he got it on his V11.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me about it.
It sounds to me like that's a battery pack issue.
Well, I brought it up to Bob, and he said it was a bug that they're going to release in their new firmware.
Okay.
Because what happens is it goes away, but I don't know what makes it go away. I didn't really delve into it to try to reproduce it. It just reproduces on its own, and I don't know what I did, or because I kept trying to see, okay, maybe if I charge it to like almost full, maybe is it because I'm laying it down or whatever? I don't know, but but that's interesting. And another thing is, have you experienced this? This might be a normal thing, but if you're on a hill, if you're on an incline, right, and you sit on it, I have a video of this. I'm surprised I didn't put it in the last one. I probably was just too tired. But if you sit on it at an incline on a hill and you just sit there, the wheel is going to go and it's gonna throw you down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow,
It's gonna throw you
no.
down. And there's a warning. It says, please be careful. And it says, oh man, I forgot what it says. You know what? I will post that video, but just that video. I won't make a long anything,
Oh,
just
wow.
that clip. But basically, if you're
that
on the
clip,
hill,
that clip's not
Yeah.
an hour. That clip's not an hour, right?
no, imagine a clip being an hour. That's funny. Start a new trend. but basically you sit there on the hill and the thing literally gets hot and it tilts back and it throws you off completely. Yeah.
I wonder if
So it's
that's
very interesting. I'm not sure if it's a bug. It could be a safety mechanism, but I don't know, because remember, it is trying to keep you up. And you're not moving, so something in there is probably getting really hot.
Might be heating it up.
Yeah, it might be heating it up. So let me go through some of the comments. So these were all the questions you guys had asked on the channel. So let me go through some of your comments here, and if you guys see anything, let me know.
Yeah, Devo he said he's getting a Commander Pro in the next batch from Alien Rise. Nice, man. I'm seriously thinking I might get a Commander Pro as well. I was thinking
I love the Commander Pro. Yeah,
I was thinking EX30 or Master Pro. And now that the EX30's out, I was like, oh, maybe EX30. But like I said, I did get on them in Vegas, and I got on the Commander Pro, and I'm thinking of getting the Commander Pro. It don't have the same power of the EX30. Nope. But I don't ride at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, I just don't.
More than enough power for me.
Yeah, but I do need the comfy suspension, and I need the power that it has. I don't particularly care for the look of it. I'm like, I'm like, whatever. But
dude, I like that Dick Tracy briefcase military look to it, man. That's just no.
I know. It looks very utilitarian. I love that. It looks like a switchblade, like a Swiss Army knife. I love that. Oh my gosh, it's freaking great, man. Devo, shout out to Devo, guys. There are 43 people watching. I hear a lot of YouTubers say that. Smash
that like button.
Smash.
Annihilate. Hey, use your switchblade on that like button. Stan in the comments, he says, which EUC company has the best roadmap moving forward? Hey, that's hard to say, because
I think honestly, go ahead. And then
you go ahead. You got more info than I do. Go ahead.
So I think Sensei would agree with me. In terms, when you say roadmap, you're thinking like, and you could expand on what you mean by that. But when I hear roadmap, I think of someone who has everything planned out, and they're thinking of a long-term strategy where at least the majority of our concerns would be addressed and in a really concise way, not wishy-washy like Big O. So personally, I know you're laughing, but personally, I think Inmotion has the better roadmap. Here's why. So what's the number one thing we all worry about when writing an EUC?
Cut out.
Thank you. so that's and number two. What's number two?
I guess range. I don't know.
In terms of safety.
Oh, I don't. For me, cutout is just it. That's all I think about. Please don't cut out.
Well, for it, that's clear, because obviously we don't have the same concerns as like a lot of people online. But that's good. But it seems like the second thing, or maybe the first thing, is fires. You know what I mean?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I wasn't going there. I was going performance, but yeah.
No, that shows you 100% trust the wheels. That's good. I do too. But Inmotion, in my opinion, Inmotion is definitely the one that has that in mind. Because if you look at how they set up their machine, I mean, goodness gracious, that Raptor board with the battery management system that they have, holy smokes. Now, the number one reason I think that they have the better plan moving forward is the battery management system, obviously. Mm-hmm. They used 18650s in that V13. Now, the 21700 cells, they're new. They're not really, they're not insanely new, but they are new and haven't really been tested per se. They've been tested over the years, but the 18650 cells are actually really good cells. and they've been used like for a very long time in the look. The EUC world is like so fast, right? That we've already forgotten the 5 years or so that it was that was the EUC world before Inmotion even started making performance EUCs.
Right.
So for them to go back to 18650 tells me a lot. Why? When I rode the Monster, that thing felt so fat to me. Okay, like it. When I say fat, not fat in a bad way, more like wide. So it was really difficult to maneuver it the way I wanted. So the 18650 cells are so thin, right? So hence the low battery watt hours for you guys. But in the future, they'll be increasing it to 21700s, obviously because of more density. They just have no choice. But that's the reason why this thing is so maneuverable. It's because of those 18650 cells. So they're able to use those 18650 cells, which were tested, and have that amazing battery management system on there, okay? And then number two, the main reason, the absolute main reason that they're number one moving forward, in my opinion, is their approach to design and their approach to design, their design philosophy. They don't just build, guys. They don't just respond. They don't just react like my soul loved Begode does. They don't do that. They sit back and they think about it. And you know what they do? They go a step further, and I'm going to show you guys why. That's a freaking good question. Here's why I think, here is why, this is it, okay? If this does not solidify why Inmotion is the number one in terms of having the best roadmap moving forward, this will tell you guys right now. I'm going to show you guys a video real quick. So
Inmotion, their CEO, and we did talk about the safety margin and how they went about testing it. So here's a video of how they go about testing this amazing feature.
All right, guys, what you're watching here is a test from Inmotion's simulation lab demonstrating the full potential of the V13. At 100% battery, the V13 has a 20% safety margin, allowing the rider to cruise at top speed and, most importantly, maintain this speed until the wheel starts to tilt back the pedals, forcefully alerting the rider to slow down. The rider can effectively keep riding the tilt back for about 2 minutes before cutout becomes inevitable. So it's important to start slowing down the moment the tilt back is felt. Also, keep in mind that the 20% safety margin is true from 100% battery down to approximately 80%. Continuing to push the tilt back past that threshold can result in a severe cutout. Now, with that in mind, unlocking the wheel throws the 20% safety margin out the window, and the risk for cutout is much higher due to much lower safety margins. So please keep this in mind if you happen to have an unlocked wheel. Finally, since this was only a simulation test, we must consider all of the variables such as rider weight, wind, terrain, temperature, and more, which will cause the results to vary widely.
awesome.
Yes.
So there you have it, guys. So the reason I no company has addressed this.
Mm-hmm.
And Kingsong has a tilt back feature. Inmotion has always had a tilt back feature, but they've taken it a step further. What they did when they told us that they had this buffer, I didn't really understand what that meant. Like, I knew what it meant in the sense that, okay, so the wheel can do 100 and whatever miles an hour, right? And we're like, there's no way they're releasing a wheel that does, you know what I'm saying? And then later on, they made it clear to us that, no, we're not doing that. What we're doing is we're releasing a wheel that's that powerful, but we're dialing it back so that you have that buffer. And that's fantastic. But I still didn't know what that meant. And now I can ride with confidence, which is why I'm about to test this thing after the suspension's put in there. But we can ride with confidence now, because now that test, what that test demonstrated was that you can ride the wheel up to its limit, right? And not worry about a cutout, which is what typically happens with a Begode. You just down, you know what I'm saying? What this does, and this is what we saw in their first initial video, okay? Their first initial video, the Inmotion, we saw that it was dark, and then it came on, and then we heard at the very end, we heard that consistent growl, that consistent, what was it doing? It was maintaining a top speed. And we've never seen that from other wheels. If you lift a Begode and you do a lift spin or a wheel spin, what do you see? It gets up to the top and it cuts out, right? Well, this one, they've included that buffer, and that buffer can actually be quantified. That buffer is 20%. That's 20% safety margin built into the firmware of that unit. So now you're not worried about cutting out when you reach the top speed. And what they've demonstrated with that simulation is that you can ride that 56, I think it was 56 top speed miles per hour for at least 2 minutes. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things where I would just go 1 minute. Obviously, I wouldn't ride it for 1 minute, 56 miles an hour. But for me to have the ability to at least consider, hey, I'm at 56 miles an hour right now. I'm not going to cut out. But you know what? Let me pull back. That whole process of just getting to 56 miles an hour, because before, when I tested Inmotion, Bigode wheels, I was always on edge. I would go like, okay, if Bigode says the top speed is 40, I'll push 37, 38, 39. Where's that tilt? Is that tilt going to come? Okay, there it is. You know what I'm saying? That little tilt. That would drive me nuts until I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell speeds like that anymore. I'll just go up too close. I'll just go close to what it said. I would sweat. I was sweating. So, but
you know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because I purposely said, no, you answer this question because you are a notorious Bigode lover, right? And I have said a lot of things about Bigode and all the companies, but I wanted to hear you say what you just said because I already felt that way about Inmotion. And when they came out with this, it proved to me that I felt like my feelings were justified. I felt like, look, this company has our safety in
they do.
The safety concern 100%. Is higher for them than any other company, in my opinion. Right. And I was like, well, but then I was riding the V11 and people were like, oh, that little wheel don't go fast. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, I'm just saying I like their philosophy.
Their philosophy, yeah.
Now that they have entered the realm of high performance wheels and they've brought that profound philosophy with them, I am very much in their corner. Very much in their corner. And I believe because what you used to do, Stride, and obviously you're not alone. There's several riders. When you guys used to talk about that little dip.
Dude, trust me. This was not something to boast about. It was just we needed to know because we love speed. But now I'm like, damn, that was crazy. Like,
Vegan, you with me, right? Like, hell no.
I'm not, man. I'm a cruise rider, man.
I saw somebody. Now, I had heard about this so much, and I've seen other people talk about it. But at Amped Electric Games last year, Amber did that shit. She pushed her wheel so hard that it dipped and was about to cut off, and she pulled back. And they said everybody was like, oh, because they actually saw it. And I was like, nah, man. Nah,
Amber's no joke, dude.
Nah, man. Nah.
I can't do it.
No, your heart drops. Like, no, I can't ride like that. Nah. So knowing that I don't have to worry about that, because they have a margin enough that the wheel is going to go and start tilting back on you before it's going to cut out on you is something that I feel really good about. I'm real and also what's the name does it too though. Leaperkim, because the Sherman S has that built-in buffer.
But and then they do it up to like any speed or
well, it depends on what motor you have. So the V13 has a more powerful motor, so they can go higher, but the Sherman S has that buffer, and then when you turn on high speed mode, it decreases that safety buffer. You still have one, but it decreases it. And I was like,
it's the same with the V13.
Yeah, and that's what got me. I was like, now V13 is doing the same thing. They're going to let you unlock it.
Yeah. And
they're going to decrease that buffer.
Well, the difference is you're going to sign a waiver.
Yeah. There's a difference. So, in the app, on the Sherman S, once they updated the firmware or whatever, they allowed you to do that. And then you had to go in and, turn it on or off. I like how easy it is. Because I like riding at 50 miles an hour, and before it started to beep at like 42 or 43. Now it doesn't start beeping. You don't get anything until 48, 50. That's where you get the first beeps. And I'm like, there you go. That's good because that's what I want. I know the wheel will do 50, 52. You could probably do 55 on it, but I wouldn't push that one that far. And because it's still 100 volts, and I'm like, but the unlock gives you but they were talking margins, safety margins.
Right.
And I said, you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Safety margins to protect us. Let's do that. So yes, make the wheels more powerful, but I don't think you need to make them go any faster.
Well, Bob Yan made it clear that that wasn't even their thing, doing performance wheels. He said this to us. He's like, Pagoda's been doing this for a long time. So this leads me into another thing that we were talking about. He said that the V12 was a disaster. He actually said
that. Dude, I give him credit though.
Yeah, I give him credit.
He owned up to it. He didn't sugarcoat it. He was like, it was a catastrophe. I was like, what? He said it, dude. But they learned from it, though.
So we asked him, you know, what took you? Why didn't you respond to us regarding, you know, the V12 cutouts and stuff like that? And I think, I'm not sure if they did. I wasn't an Inmotion guy like that. But the reason he said they didn't really reach out is because, let me see what he said. He said the reason they didn't reach out to us about the V12 is because they were not confident enough, because we were the testers and they were not confident enough to reach out to us about a solution, because at the time it didn't seem there was a solution.
They didn't have one.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they did. So this is the reason they so it says here, with the V13 they tried to do it step by step in order to ensure it was done properly. The V13 was a real challenge for Inmotion. Unlike Gotway, who are known for their performance wheels, they had to take their absolute time to do it right. Now, this is something that Sensei Vegan had mentioned about Kingsong jumping from the S18 all the way to the S22. You remember?
Yeah. And I think they put the cart before the horse, man, and it kind of messed them up.
Yeah. And Inmotion did not go down that route. Inmotion, you know, it's beautiful because Inmotion, it seems like they, you know, although they want the performance market because that's where everything is going, they did not in any way, shape, or form ignore their weaknesses. They knew that this is not their thing. Mm-hmm. Performance is not their thing. It doesn't mean they can't do it. The question is, can they do it right? And that goes back to the design philosophy and engineering philosophy that that Cobra was referring to. So for them to really take a step back from the fiasco that was the V12, they really did not want to replicate that in the V13. So to be fair, besides the two cutouts we saw, which was in the woods and some guy over torquing the wheel while on the street, have we seen any cutouts at all of the V13?
No, I don't think it's been a widespread thing. I think it's
not a widespread thing, not like the V12.
Isolated incidents.
Yeah, isolated incidents. So they've done a fantastic job. Executing that wheel. Of course, there's time will tell. You know what I mean? Regarding the quality of the components in that wheel. But
there's a question. There's a question out here, and I think it's a good question for all three of us to give our own answers on, even though both of these are sight unseen for us. The patent or the extreme? Which one would you say is the better wheel?
The extreme. I don't know what the extreme is.
The new Bigode wheel? You haven't seen it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the extreme. Yeah. I've seen. Sensei sent it to me. He sent it to me the other day. So I can't speak on wheels that I don't ride or haven't at least touched. I can't really say much about it, so I don't know.
Well, they're saying from what you see as far as the specs are concerned, and I guess you probably haven't even seen the specs on it. So
no.
All I can say, because the extreme was just announced, and I haven't seen anyone riding it yet.
Right.
So I can't really give that, but I can tell you right now, the patent that looks like straight fire.
I like the size. I like the size of it.
I think the patent is a smaller wheel, which I don't really care for, because I think the Sherman S is as small as you need to go, but that's just me. But it's a smaller wheel with higher torque and higher. It's 134 volt, and it's got all the goodies.
It's not light either, though. It weighs 89 pounds. Heavy. 86 to 89 pounds.
So, but it's got all the goodies from the Sherman S in a smaller form factor with more power and more torque. So to me, it sounds like a win-win. I'm like, damn, I can't wait to ride one. But
I don't. Yeah, with me, I would be happy with either one of those wheels.
Me too.
You know what? I'm not going to argue, man. Go send us.
Yo,
Better send us one each. I'll ride them both, man.
Yo, we'll test them. Let's
okay,
go.
so that maybe this question here from Stan leads into the one you just read, Cobra. He says, if you guys were to create the perfect EUC, what size tire is the preference?
I typed in there. I said 22-inch, maybe.
22? Damn. Yeah. I like 18.
I would say
no.
18 or 20.
Yeah, I like 18 or 20. That area.
I would say we could settle on 20, but damn sure not 18.
The reason I say it is because I'm trying to include portability in there.
See, look, not what okay, think about today's not today's use case, but where we're going. These are truly trying to replace transportation. Right. When you're truly trying to replace transportation, you don't need to pick it up and put it in your pocket. You know what I mean? It's like that's gone. We don't really need that anymore, because that was when it was more of a toy. Now it's more of a legit vehicle. So you need it to be a legit vehicle. It has to have a tire that says, "Hey, I'm a legit motherfucking vehicle." I'm not some cheesy. No, this is not a toy. And if you want the wheels that can do the spin around on one leg and do dipsy doos and all, you can get a 16-inch wheel or whatever. But for the best size, I think I would settle on like a 20-inch, maybe 22, somewhere in there, because you can do high speed, you can be stable. And you can go through traffic and you can do whatever you need to do, and there's no toy feeling. Because you felt. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. No, for me it'd be a 20. I'm just laughing at me how you said you can go through traffic. And I normally don't ride like an a-hole, but dude, I was on a Tesla riding like a straight a-hole through New York. And I had a blast through. But I do understand for definitely being out in traffic. You want, because there's a couple times where I'm going pretty quick. I'm like, you get that shake. I'm like, if I had a bigger tire.
Wow, what gave you the courage?
It was like, the traffic was nice. It wasn't too packed, and I was like, you know what, today's gonna be.
You just went for it. You just went for it.
I didn't say it was being bad that day, but it was fun.
Sensei was being
Sensei's crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all, he be riding he was riding that damn Tesla in places he had no damn business riding that Tesla. He did that shit in traffic in New York. I was like, what's wrong with this man? Tesla's not designed for that. But
I had no choice.
But then you stepped up the game and moved up. I was like, all right. Because and then you really killed me when you brought the Tesla out again, because they had a better tire, you said, at the rally last year.
I rode it at the rally.
Yeah, I was like, why you go get the Tesla? That thing.
Dude, I did it. I couldn't, my RS, I could not hold the traction down, man. I slipped out like 3 times at the start.
E. Simon said a 30-inch tire. Let's go.
Don't.
Hey, y'all remember that interview I did with the dude with the giant wheel?
Whatever happened to this guy?
He never came out with it. He never came out with it, because I told him, I said, keep me posted, man. When you get the prototype and when you're ready to sell it, let me know, because I got you. And I never heard from him again. Like,
they were from Canada, weren't they? I thought they were.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Canada. I forget where he was from, but
it was the Midwest.
Was it Orion? The Orion?
Yeah. That's what he called it. The Orion. Yep. I saw a video recently because I was looking through my my stories, and I was like, oh, there was that Orion.
I was like, something else.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing that Bobby Ann said, it put a smile on my face when he talked about the Raptor controller. And he said before EUCs were like toys, he says the Raptor controller is like motorcycle grade.
Yeah.
He said it's motorcycle grade, and they're going to implement that into all their wheels.
Yep.
Yep.
What is the tire size of the Sherman? Not the Sherman. What am I saying? The is it the Sherman S? No.
22. The Sherman's a 20. The Sherman S is 22, and I think the V13 is a 22 also.
Yeah. Right. So okay. So I take it back then, because I had a little experience with your Sherman S, and it was great.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he got on it. He was like, "Ooh."
That felt really good. Like,
He was right here in the office. He said, "Ooh, I like
Yeah,
it."
because the first wheel you gave me to try was the V13. So I'm like, holy smokes, I can't even like. And then I get on the Sherman S. I'm like, holy smokes, now this is natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
hold on.
2022 is perfect for me, to be honest, to answer that question, Stan.
Oh, remember too, they got the Commander Mini Pro coming too.
Oh yes, I saw
Commander
that,
Mini Pro's coming.
I mean, really, at this point, dude, there are wheels for everybody. Nobody should have any complaints. Look at that wheel over there.
Look, I took the green off of it because I was gonna take it apart. I took the rest of the pads off, but that's pretty. Come on, that's Sherman S, baby. Whew. And then the Master's naked behind it, but but that Sherman S is like, that wheel's crazy.
On a Commander Pro, I would get a Commander.
Oh wait,
for another one to come out to say work all the kinks out of it first, because I know there's a couple issues.
Say that again. I missed part of what you said.
Yeah, I said right now, I would get a Commander Pro if I can get a good deal on one. I would just wait for them.
I have a down payment. I have a down payment on one.
Yeah.
Wait till I got 3 or something.
Yeah, I got one. I got one supposed to be coming to me as soon as I sell the Monster Pro back there.
No, my down payment is coming. The wheel's gonna be here in like the next century. So such a small down payment.
Yeah, no, mine. It seems like it may be here not that long from now. Hopefully, but we'll see. But we'll see. I'm not like, in a rush because I'm in love with this thing. I just need to figure out what happened with this beep, and I think I got to change the board again. I don't know, but this is the demo version that was getting beat up.
Hey, if something's wrong with it, just I'm just up the street.
Yeah.
Can I address something?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is off of Inmotion. Now, I've been listening to the comments that people are talking about as far as the S19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, what are they thinking? Plain and simple. King Song was not going to put out a wheel and dethrone the S22 Pro right now.
No, that would be stupid.
You see what I'm saying? Because people are like, oh man, look at the specs. It's not, what do you think you're going to get? They're not going to put something out after basically getting the S22 Pro where it needs to be, and they come out with an S19 that's better. They're not going to do that. That would be complete. That would be stupid.
That would be shooting themselves in the foot.
100%.
Yeah. Now, are you excited for the basketball?
Oh my gosh,
dude!
I remember when Tashawn wasn't that a similar wheel that he was showcasing a while ago, like years ago?
I don't know that it was a basketball, but it was.
No, but I mean now they made it into a basketball. Before it was like it's the same design.
Showtime is a coach, and I was like, yo, I can see you rocking that in practice. She wants one.
We should pitch in and get her one for the game to ride around.
Yo, imagine her on the sidelines. Go, and riding that up and down the court. She's doing softball too. I'm like, yo, you need the basketball wheel. I think we got you.
Stride City's gonna ride in the Broadway bomb next year.
Oh shit!
I did.
Yeah, you're getting the basketball to ride in the Broadway.
Oh no.
Oh, not that. No way. I mean, look, V5. That was the smallest wheel I've ever ridden. That gave me the toy feeling.
Oh yeah, stop doing this. But
yeah,
I'm going off. I'm looking at this comment. Devo, it says the S19 is for casual riders who don't know wheels. Now, I will say this: if you look at the specs, that's going to be for off-road. I know the tire doesn't look all that great. 37 miles an hour, 3,000 like a 3,000 watt motor, and it only weighs 70 pounds. The thing's gonna be quick. Now think about this. Tarzan annihilated a whole field on an RS19.
Mm-hmm. When was this?
On a torque at your event.
Yeah.
Oh, at Cobra's event.
Yeah. Now the thing is, that wheel only has about top speed of like 38 miles an hour.
Yeah. Because top speed is not it at the rally.
Exactly.
Not it.
Yeah. So, well, not off-roading.
Yeah.
Not off-roading.
Now think of that S19 with the specs that it has, 3,000 watt motor, it's 70 pounds, suspension on your course.
Yeah, it might be
you would
good.
fly on that thing.
Yeah, it might be good.
Every wheel has its pros and its cons.
Yeah,
It's good for certain situations.
And I don't like the fact that they have solid pads on it.
I don't like that
you can't remove. And like I was like, so now I really got to do some doctoring.
Wait, that's actually, it looks really nice though.
No, it looks nice as far
as
it
might not fit. It's not gonna fit everybody.
Aesthetics, but right, it ain't gonna fit everybody's feet and shins and legs.
So it's not removable.
No, it's not. Not only is it not removable, it's not adjustable.
Not at all.
Really?
Yeah,
they should have kept that shape.
Yeah,
I thought,
but you can put pads on it. You know what I mean? If you want to put your own pads on that thing,
nope,
yeah,
don't move. It don't move.
Yeah,
Jack said it is what it is. This is what you get. You get what you get. It's not removable. I was like, oh no. So what you're gonna have to do is build out the back half to be the same, and then flatten it, and then put your own pads out over it. Come on,
wow.
that's a little extra. And then
terrible.
you're gonna have to cover the speakers because the speakers are built into the back part of the pad. And
So
they are.
Is anyone testing it yet in the States?
No, I don't think so. It's so new. They just started putting it out, so I don't think
a good city wheel.
Yeah, I think.
My point is the moment it comes to the States, if people don't like it, that's going to be the first thing to go, right?
Yeah, of course. Everybody's gonna. You got to make adjustments to your wheel. And that's one of the things I think the EUC company needs to do. Either realize that everybody is different and allow them adjustability in the pads that you give them. So like ship your wheel with a set of Clark pads or something, or with with the side molding like he has it. So make the wheel so that you can make whatever adjustments you need to on it. I like the fact
build the wheel around the pads.
The EX30 is got those battery casings. They're like big giant area. You can put whatever you want on.
Well, I love the V13s. Oh my gosh, the space is just enormous.
V13 too. I mean, I didn't even talk about that, but yeah, V13 too. You can put whatever you want, wherever you want.
Kurt Flirt 2 says, I disagree. The S22 is such a flawed wheel. No matter what they need to come out with another 126 wheel that was much improved overall. They are so far behind. I think the S22 just curtailed them. They should not have gone that direction.
No. Well, I don't think it curtailed them. I think that the S22 was a necessary iteration because if you look at it, those that are jumping and off and doing like crazy jumps, what should be using? S22. And he said that's my wheel of choice for jumping.
Who was
but Shibi, I'm sorry, I burn bridges. Shibi, doesn't he represent a company? Yeah, no, he represents Rev Rides. He rides for Rev Rides. Yeah, there you go. That has nothing to do with the wheel that he rides. I can tell you exactly. He rides what he likes for jumping. He likes the MSP. He liked it a long time ago. He liked the RS19. He liked the RS, and he always seen him jumping on that S22. Yeah, the RS was his jump wheel. No matter what else came out, that was the best wheel for jumping because it was light and small and had torque. But he also said, I remember there was a video on Facebook where other people were who bought the S22, obviously because of him and many other people, and there were guys like, I'm not saying the S22 is bad. I'm just saying like there were guys who were trying to imitate what he did. Yep. And they were cutting out. This was not the Pro. This was before the Pro, the S22 Pro. Yep. They were cutting out prior to the jump. And some people would cut out at the jump. And so what he told them was, what you need to do is when you're going for the jump, don't lean into it. Just let it go. Ride into it. Now, would he have given that same advice for an RS? I don't think so. Yeah, but the point though is the RS doesn't have suspension. No, I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, are you going to give up safety for suspension? No, you know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm telling you. Overall, that's the best wheel for jumping still. Mm-hmm. Overall, it does. 100%. The suspension is robust, 100%. But I'm not referring to the suspension though. No, but that's why I'm saying it. Like he adjusted the way he rides that wheel because the suspension and the form factor of the wheel
lends itself to jumping better than any others.
Yeah.
The torque is not as good. He liked the torque on the takeoff better on the RS, but with the suspension and with the overall build of the wheel, the landing is much better on the on the S22, and he got so good at it, he learned how to ride it, better. But my point to that is, I'm not saying it's the best jump wheel. I'm just saying that it's the preferred jump wheel for those that jump really big. Like
I would agree with you that it's the best jump wheel because of the suspension. There's no I have no qualms about the suspension.
And I don't honestly particularly love their suspension. I think that because the sliders, I think, are a problem. They've been trying to figure it out all this time, but it's the coil in the back, the way the coil sets and it can absorb. I think that does well on jumps. I rode the S22 because Roger gave me one to ride while I was out in California. I just think it's all right.
What are the guys? Is it Lucas from EVs? Lucas, the one with the beard? That's still like what he said. That's probably his top wheel, his favorite wheel right now. I was just watching the last video. Yeah. Well, no, they were talking about the patent. But
he likes the patent. He thinks.
Yeah, but he said that S22 is still.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. And then Bradley said, or Lucas or Brad, I forget which one is which, but one of them said the patent is his favorite wheel now. And then the other one said the S22 is right there.
Yeah.
He said he really likes it, but the patent is like so close because it's so good.
I tried to find Shibby on the Canyon jump, but it's on Facebook, and I can't put Facebook on YouTube. So
no, it's on. And you can't put Instagram on either, right?
Instagram. Oh, is it on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last time I did that, I got my channel.
Oh.
Really?
Probably
for Facebook. For Facebook.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I posted it on IG. I reposted it.
Right, but I'm saying like for the Facebook video.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to play it because that was crazy.
I'm sure everybody in this chat right now has seen that jump.
Oh yeah, it was a nuts jump.
It was. He should be going to jump the fountains at Caesars next or something.
Well, in case you guys don't know, and I'm sure you don't because you're not in the amp chats, but let me tell you, he's building up to something even bigger.
Oh my goodness.
The Amped Electric Games in September, from September 1st to September 3rd. Anybody that's in this chat, you need to be there. He is going to jump. I don't even know if I should say it right now.
You probably shouldn't. Don't do it.
All I'm saying is,
I mean, did he already post it? Did he post it?
I don't know that he did. I think I can say it because I don't think it's a secret. But he jumped a bus last year.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right. Yep. That was the most exciting thing. I mean, being there and the hype to while he was amped up for it, and we're like, oh my god, he's gonna do it, and then he jumped the bus. That was so exhilarating. Then to see this canyon jump, I'm like, no,
that was nuts. You know what scared me was because there was the first canyon video I saw. It was cool. I was like, okay, that's when he went all the way to the top and got some speed.
Yeah.
So the angle was kind of off, so I didn't really see the depth of how crazy that jump was. Yeah. But then the second one, I saw the void.
It was a different angle.
I was like,
it was a different angle. The same jump, but because I think the first video was I forgot the guy's name who filmed it, and then the second video I think was from Kelly on the other. So she was a little bit. So
dude, that angle was crazy because I could see the darkness.
I was like, what? Like, I watched it like 10 times. I was like, no, he didn't.
So Vector Coasters agree with you guys. The S22 survived crashing into a canyon twice and still worked perfectly. So I think it's a beast.
Because did you see the videos after when he didn't make the jump?
I saw one when he slid out.
I saw one where he crashed at the very edge of the landing, and then he tumbled and
that's the one.
He did that I think he did that twice, 2 different times.
Dude, that'd have been done after the first one. I wouldn't even did it.
There's no way in hell if I didn't make that jump, I ain't ever doing it again.
Wow.
But
there you go. The S22 is showing its ways.
I'm gonna say it. I hope Seth don't get mad at me, but you ever seen us?
I didn't hear that. I can't hear him.
Oh, I hear him loud and clear.
Hold on. There we go. I don't know how I just got
No,
muted.
no, I muted you. I
Oh,
muted
okay.
you. It was a joke. It was a joke.
No. I was like, I don't hear anything. You guys are crazy.
I'm like, what happened? I didn't do that.
Because I'm just like,
I'm gonna tell you guys, mute.
It was an 18-wheeler, a semi,
Wow.
a semi-trailer.
that's crazy.
That's
Obviously,
even
so
the
this
long
way, right?
way.
Wow.
Yep, a semi-trailer. So I think he's working up to it. I think that's the plan. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. But that's the plan.
Oh my gosh. Well, oh man, that's interesting. Well, the best part is the 18-wheeler has a landing platform, so he can always land.
If he cuts it short, he can ride on a cab.
All right.
Yeah.
Yo, but listen, if you look at one of the videos I posted, I said, yo, this is some Evel Knievel wide world of sports Olympic type jump you doing.
What wheel? Do you know what wheel he's using?
S22.
S22.
And I think he's on a pro. Now, don't get me wrong, people. E. Simon says, I hope Seth doesn't hear this and then I'm muted. Yo, so don't listen. Shibby has blown up some S22s. So don't think.
Of course, I know he's sponsored. No, I know that. And that's why I was doing the pushback, because I have no incentive to not push back.
Yeah,
I know he's destroyed many S22s. He has a sponsor. So for the next layman guy out there who goes and buy an S22 and tries to do what he does and blows a few MOSFETs, he's gonna be like, "What the frig happened?" You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying.
But he did. He said it's a different type of ride. You have to get your speed up before you get to the jump, and then you have to just ride the jump. You can't try and torque into the jump because you'll cut the wheel out. And he's like, it doesn't have the same kind of performance. So you have to know the wheel, but there's landing on something like that is like a whole nother world compared.
I think you know what? So there were some videos on YouTube of people. Let me see. You guys keep talking. Let me see if I can find it for you guys.
What you trying to find now? Don't get
You'll see.
Banned.
You'll see. I know, right?
Damn, Pago's not going anywhere, man.
Yeah. So E. Simon said Shivy should be getting paid for that sort of stuntman stuff. Other world-class extreme sports riders earn a fortune. He will, trust me. If you guys, and on that note, while he's looking for that, I'll take this opportunity to push even a little bit harder to make sure, guys, go out to these events that are being held. Make sure you're out, because the more that we're trying really hard, and when I say we, I mean the Amped Electric Games team, and myself here in New England with the Wheel Life Rally, I'm trying hard to get it recognized by more people, and as part of the Amped Electric Games team, we're trying hard to get it recognized by bigger people. There are several sponsors and things that are looking into what we're doing. So in the future, people who are doing like what Shivy's doing will be getting paid by sponsors, and they will be taken care of. But we have to continue to support the things that we're doing. We have to continue to make sure.
Looks like it's going for that Red Bull, right?
Yeah. See, there's so many things, and you think of Red Bull, you think of everyone's like, oh, you guys gonna do X Games? I'm like, well, we are our own X Games, Amped Electric Games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just want to further this sport, and we love all things electric. And like we said, Amped Electric Games, the voice of electric sports. That's exactly what we want to be. We want to be the voice so that we can carry this sport into the next generation and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the plan. That's we have a lot of things in the works, but the best thing for you guys is to make sure you come out and support. If you have any way to get to these events, get there and support, because the bigger we make them, the more.
Where do you post them? Where do you post the events?
You can go to, for the Wheel Life Rally, you can go to wheelliferally.com, because you can get tickets right there on it. And as far as Amped Electric Games, you go to ampedelectricgames.com, because all the events that we are, because if you notice, we are broadcasting other events. You know, we did Eastgate Con, when but it's still electric vehicles, but we're trying to make that a part of one big family. And so if you go to amped-electricgames.com, you'll see what the next event is. Right now, it's Shred Fest. Shred Fest. That's next weekend in South Carolina. Now, I really wish I could be there. I have some work engagements that I just can't miss, or else I'd be there announcing what's up.
What is the Shred Fest? Because I noticed a lot of these
one
events.
Wheel. One wheel. Shred Fest.
That's that big one.
Yeah, big one. That's
that's
the One Wheel's biggest event, and they're including EUCs, and they're trying to be more inclusive. Everywhere we go, we try to promote the inclusiveness of everybody else. So that's what we're trying to get, all electric vehicles included. And the EUC race is always the most exciting. We were at Eastgate Con, and Eastgate Con was fantastic. I love the races. I've never been big into Eastgate, but I was like impressed
just for them to be there, right?
Yeah, I was impressed watching them ride, man. I was like, dang, this is really intense. But when the EUC race came on, that's when it was real. Like
Spartacus, sorry to interrupt you, says respect for, I didn't want to forget his comment because it's right in your alley.
Go for it.
Love and respect for AMP crew, all the riders pushing this sport and supporting the community. Definitely the best time to be riding in the EUC.
Yeah. That's right, Spartacus.
And to answer Doug Scott, he said, what would the performance profile look like with the rocket backpack? Okay, so I'm going to answer that question for you right now, because this falls into this is what I think Shibi is going to do. This is exactly what I think he's going to do. Are you guys ready for this?
Go, here we go.
Hit the shoot, baby. Boom.
That's exactly what he's going to
do. He would do that. He would 100% do that.
Yeah. And the EC is so small because that guy, he didn't let his bike go. The bike had to shoot too.
Yeah. We could do the same thing. You know what? Let's set it up. I'm going to make it happen. The rally's coming up. I got it. Parachute. Anyone got a parachute in the chat? Okay, funny. Never mind.
That's another thing that I think some riders have to understand about the wheels. Like, again, with the S19, they're talking about like a big motor, small battery. It's one or the other. I mean, if you put a bigger motor in, it's going to be heavy. If you put more battery in, it's going to be too heavy. You don't want some big monstrosity of a wheel to jump with,
Yeah, you got to find the right balance when you're jumping.
Go ahead.
And on another note, real quick, it's not just for racers. The Wheel Life Rally and Amped Electric Games, both events are not just for racers. Just so you understand, I'm going to do a lot of mini games. I want to have obstacle course. I'm thinking of doing like EUC jousting and all kinds of things. We did a lot of games at AMP last year because it rained one day and we were inside doing all kinds of mini games, and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
I want to institute that again, and we're definitely doing it at AMP, and I want to institute it at Wheel Life Rally this year too. So you can come with your race wheels and stuff, but if you got little wheels, you might want to come with them too. You might find yourself trying to do obstacle courses and all kinds of fun stuff.
And you said 2 days this year,
2 days. Yep. Wheel Life Rally is 2 days.
3 days for me because I'll come up the day before.
Yeah.
You gotta help you out with the track setup and stuff too. I said that last year.
Yeah, I need some volunteers. Yeah. If you go on the website, there's actually a form for volunteers. You can fill that out at wheelliferally.com.
Wheelliferally.com.
Yep. Let me know you want to help. That'll be much appreciated because I really want to make it as big and the best that it can possibly be.
Because you would be the East Coast, right?
Yeah, this is it. This is it for the East Coast as far as big events here, and it'll be even bigger going forward. So making it 2 days was the key, because now we actually have the whole place for 2 days, and so a couple people already asked me about camping out there. They're gonna camp out there. You can get you can get an Airbnb in the area. You can do all kinds of stuff, but us coming together is so much fun. I want to do as much as we possibly can together.
I'm putting a camper on my Sherman.
Not your Sherman in the camper. Okay.
Well, the Sherman got to pull the camper first.
Yeah,
Then we can put it
a
in.
little motorcycle campers.
Yeah, I watch this Jeep show every now and then. It's called Trail Recon.
Mhm.
They go to the canyons and they have their Jeeps and they have the trailer in the back. And man, I would love to do something like that.
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, we forgot something, Astra. I don't. Can we mention that? I think.
What is it? Oh yeah. Well, I have two more things to mention here, but
Go,
you can
go.
ahead.
Let's do it.
The expansion. Would that be okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
The battery packs.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're talking about removable packs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So go ahead. Go ahead, Sensei, because you're the one that brought it up.
Yeah. So I asked a question, and he was like, "Oh." He goes, "Okay." He was like surprised, and he was like, "Yeah, they're working. They're working on something."
Yeah, he's like, were you listening to us? Because we were talking about this for hours last night.
We were
Like
the fly on the wall.
Yeah, because the issue with the removable battery packs is that when you put them back in, you're going to have an issue with vibration. Exactly. So that's the main concern, is that when you implement that, how are you going to prevent it from vibrating? And I'm thinking, dude, there's many ways to do it. But he's probably just putting that out there, to throw us off. But they probably have it done already. Who knows? Yeah, but that's something that they were very excited about. So
yeah. Yo, EC Vibes in the house. What's up, Vibes?
Vibes.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, right.
Where's Vibes? I don't see him. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Vibes.
Yeah.
But again, I still think that was just awesome. The way he opened up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff, and I think it's going to help out the community a lot.
So yeah, so these are the last few things I'm going to mention about him, and then I guess you could do whatever you want. But he said so. Inmotion is so. This is what he said. He said they tried to build the best wheel for us, best and safest wheel for us. That's what he said, right? Mm-hmm. And he said Inmotion is a very different company than Bigote, and they can't release as many wheels as Bigote does. But with their new modular approach, because they're planning on going modular with their designs, I wouldn't be surprised if they got that from Bigote, okay? Because they all take from each other. If it's working, why not? But he said they can't release as many wheels as Bigote does. But with their new modular approach, they will be able to produce new wheels at a much faster rate than before. Obviously, not as crazy as Bigote, but a lot more than before. Because I think right now it's just one wheel a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So with a modular design, all they'll have to say to just like Bigote, hey, what do people need? More battery. What do people need? A more robust suspension. And just, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. He said that paired up with the it paired up with their Raptor controller, because it affected that. It's like they can put out more wheels. So that's awesome.
You say bada bing, bada boom. Just checking.
Bada bing,
bada bing over here.
Over here. This guy over here.
We got all these wheels over here.
What was the other thing? You tried
so the other thing is just so you guys know, if you're experiencing that battery problem with the the battery is not on or not turned on, it's like that error you get after you charge it. He said it's that's going to be fixed in the next firmware update. So look out for that, I guess, and mention it on their post on Facebook. So that's pretty much it. I think I've covered everything for the most part. So now I guess we can go over some comments that I might have missed, but you guys can talk.
Yeah, just that it's real key that they were open like that. I love the fact
very very open. Yeah,
it's because to us, I'll be honest, as a EUC writer, as a demo writer, and as a YouTuber, it was frustrating as hell to not be able to get any damn answers. And to be able to contact these people and have conversations is very, very important. Like right now, I'm feeling a little stressed because what happened to the Sherman S. I want to talk to Leaperkim, but I don't have a way to contact them. So I'm trying to go through.
They don't have a Facebook group or anything.
They might have, but I don't know that it's actually them. So I'm gonna try that a little bit more and see if I can get a direct response, because I want some sort of guidance. I'm gonna swap out the motherboard again and see if that will get rid of it. But I'd like to know, hey, have you seen this before?
That would be your third motherboard, right?
No, it would be the second because I'm swapping back to the one that was being loud because I don't have another one. If he's able to, if Free Motion is able to send out another one, that'd be great. But right now, I just wanted to know, hey, have you seen this? You know, I mean, y'all built the wheel. Have you seen this happen in some? Can you tell me what it is? Because even if I swap the motherboard out and it fixes it, I'm curious. I want to know what it is. What triggered it to do that? Because
is it hard to swap the motherboard?
It takes a little bit. It's not hard, but when you do it, like when I do it, if I take it over to Jeremy's shop again, then we can do it a little faster together. Okay. But I did it here by myself because I didn't feel like going back over there that day. I had gone over there with the Sherman the first time. I went over there with the V13, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it here.
How long did it take you? About
a couple hours.
Was it shorter, you would say, than a V11?
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Because it's easy. It's easier. Like the setup of it is like
right.
Off. It was. I was like, man, this was pretty easy. You know, it wasn't a whole intricate, all kinds of craziness. And I was able to take the batteries out and pull it apart. And I was like, this ain't bad at all. I was like, all right. So I know I can do it, but I also put the Clark pad system. So it's got extra pieces on each corner and all. I was like, oh, damn, I got to take everything off now.
Yeah, so, Kyle is saying, I got an error on my wheel, that's the V13, that said unable to properly shut down. Interesting. And then he said the V13 only showed the error once. Hasn't happened again yet, but I'm still concerned. So that's the thing, right? The more advanced is someone. Oh, wow. For some reason, you look like someone else. And I'm like, wait, I didn't put the link in the chat. Why is someone else in here? And you look, Cobra, you look like someone totally different. I was about to let you in.
I went
like but that's the thing. The more advanced the wheels get in terms of firmware and software integration with hardware and all that, because it seems like Inmotion is monitoring almost everything on the wheel with their software. Yeah. And you're gonna have intermittent issues. It's gonna happen, and that sucks because I test software, and dude, like every time they fix something, a bunch of other things break.
That's
you know what I mean?
Crazy how that happens.
Yeah, well, it's just, you know, it's because all this stuff is integrated. You know what I mean? And I would hate for an EUC to be so advanced that it's more software than hardware. I would hate for that to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you can rely on hardware. Software, you might have to take it back to Inmotion. You might have to send it back to Inmotion because only they can program it. Or they might send you a firmware update, but that firmware update might not be speaking properly to an old hardware
that makes sense
component or whatever. So I would hate for it to get so complicated software-wise that they can't really communicate with the hardware. That's why I like, and this is why I absolutely love the Goat, because for the most part they have software, but where it matters for the most part. Now all I need them to do is implement that tilt back feature, and I'll be a happy guy. Be a happy guy. Yeah, take safety a little bit more serious where cutting out is concerned. I think Inmotion, Bigode won't go anywhere in my opinion.
No, so, my only fear with Bigode is that they pump out so many wheels that when someone buys one, you know, is it going to go obsolete? You're not going to be able to get parts and stuff for it. Right, dude? I mean, they're like stacking on top of you like Legos right now, man.
That's true. Hey, iCafe Sweden, he said, guys, do you talk 4 EUC categories? No matter suspension. He said the Courage is entry level 14 to 16 inch. Adventure is high torque 16 to 18 inch. The Challenger is high speed, 18 to 22 inch, and the Explorer is long range, 20 to 24 inch.
Yeah, we talked about it, but not as specific as you.
Yeah, right. you just broke it down.
We broke it down.
That's what we were. But we did talk about that, and they put the categories out there. But thank you for putting it out there like that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I may have to copy and paste. Hold on. No, that looks really good. That is definitely what we were talking about. The fact that Inmotion is doing so much when it comes to this is crazy. Like, I'm real happy that they're doing it. I knew they were already that type of company, and they're just showing it. Somebody else in the chat said, Stan, I believe, said, which EUC company right now has an EUC that you think is even close to worth the $4,000 sticker? V13, the Super Wheel, in my opinion, the Super Wheel, and the EX30. I think those.
I'm gonna have to push back on you.
Go ahead.
I would say neither one. No wheels out there.
Yeah. Well, he's saying out of those, what's the closest?
Closest,
He's not saying which one is worth it, because ain't none of them worth it. But
no, you're right. You're right.
What's the closest? Yeah. And the reason I say that is because Inmotion, I think, has put the most into it.
Right.
With all their safety features, with the look of the wheel, the
research,
the build quality, the research they put into it, they really put their heart and soul in this and made it like worthy of some sort of money. I don't think any of them are worthy of $4,000, but
I think you're right. Yeah, they have really good quality.
Yeah. EX30 is behind them, but I think the EX30 is a iteration of what they already had.
I got you.
It's not an innovation. It's just a reiteration or reconfiguration of what they already had. Yes, they upped this and they upped that. Let's see if this works. Oh, they upped that. Let's see if that works. Oh, they upped that. And Inmotion seems like this is their first shot. They went all out on, let's design this.
Right.
I want to design a wheel that has never been seen. I want to design a wheel that looks like nothing else on the market. I want to design a wheel that you go, damn, what's that?
And that's exactly the reaction.
And I want to design a wheel that's so safe that you feel safe on the wheel. And they did that.
And check this out, too, to even piggyback on top of that. Now, we talked about the V12, right? They seem to iron out all the kinks. Could you imagine a refreshed V12 with suspension? Dude.
Yeah, now that they know what they did wrong.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
that would be a nasty same thing with the V11. A refreshed V11? Are you kidding me?
Well, the V11, the only thing is, I think the V11 doesn't have anywhere to go. Like, there was just too many problems. Like, it was a great idea, and I love the V11. You know, I'm a big fan, but I feel like they needed to up their game. And I think they went to the V13 and they upped their game. They changed the whole idea of it. And I was like, yes.
But this is the thing too, though. Now you have the V13. Now, if they refresh the V11, remember the V13, as far as price goes, it's up there.
Yeah.
But if you can't afford the V13 and they put out a quality refresh V11, then you can balance,
See,
everyone can't afford that wheel, man.
The reason I'm pushing back is because, again, I agree with Cobra only because of the state of affairs of all EUC manufacturers right now. But I feel like from the get-go, these EUC companies in general should have had those qualities, right?
No, I mean, that's
at least. So now because Inmotion has always been like that. I mean, the V12. A lot of people say it's because of the distributors and where they got their parts from, et cetera, and I think this is why Inmotion didn't have an answer. Is because a lot of it was probably out of their control. So it makes sense now looking back, saying, if you're going to use today as a barometer and say, okay, well, the V13 is closest, but if we're putting the V13 and Inmotion that high, that means we've been in a bad state for a long time. You know what I mean? Like,
but we have been.
But that's what I'm saying. And it's like that price is not a real price.
No.
That price is just demonstrating how bad it's been, and it should never have been that way. It's like exposing how bad everything has been. Yep. Even though we know it, it just took someone to come out with something fantastic, as Cobra said. To really put it out there and show to everybody, holy smokes, like this is quality. So I guess you're right, Cobra, but at the end of the day, man, it should never have been like that,
No, and the sad part is that we all knew it and we used to say it all the time. And at one point I felt like, damn, we're just whining, but I'm like, dude, can y'all please listen and just give us a safer wheel, give us a wheel that's worth, our time and stop giving us the same regurgitated crap. And it's like, you know, you change one thing, make a whole new wheel. I'm like, no, but that's the same as the last wheel. You just changed one thing on it. And
Put
I'm
some
like,
different color RGB lights on it.
I'm like, I said, no, come on, make us something that you can be proud of, that we can say this is a real manufactured product. And that's the real sad part about this is if manufacturing came to the US, we would have no choice. They would have no choice but to make it better because of how we make people. Unfortunately, it would cost about 10 grand.
It would. That's minimum 10 grand.
Well, shout out to Inmotion. I mean, that quality, you would expect that type of quality here.
Yeah.
That's freaking great quality. Sometimes I go to the basement, I look at the wheel, I'm like, holy smokes, look at this thing.
Right. Like, and it's, look, hey, people, we're not, listen, we're not just trying to say it's perfect.
No, we're not saying it's perfect.
No, we know it has flaws.
We're just comparing it to the state of affairs, the current state of affairs.
When you compare it to the field of wheels, it does stand above. Yeah. Even from the first moment you look at it until you ride at high speed, you're like, damn, emotional damage.
Oh man,
yo,
you guys are the best.
But I do think I mean, like I said, I wish it had a better suspension, a more robust suspension that could handle it. But other than that, I saw that comment. That's what I wanted you to put up. E-bikes have removable battery packs that don't vibrate. Many good options already available. That's what I'm saying. There's available hot swappable batteries. Let's go.
That'd be awesome.
Imagine that. You ride and you're like, damn, I'm almost out. Hold up. Pop, switch it back, and you're like, let's go.
Yeah. And it
really would you ride with the extra battery?
Well, this is the thing.
You could,
but this would be cool. Let's say you have 25. I'm just throwing a number, 3,000 watt hours, right? The backup packs, it could be 250 watt hours a piece.
Good point, because isn't there a guy who was, I forgot his name. I was supposed to get a battery from him for my EXN, but my EXN died, so there was no incentive to get it. But he was selling 400 extra watt hour batteries that you would just pop into your.
Oh, that EXN. Was that dude out by RevRide, not RevRides, but he did Crusher's EXN, Jen Crusher's wheel.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So you're not saying like a whole 3,000 watt hour.
No, extra, it's just it would be like auxiliary power, like backup power.
Yeah.
So if you know you're running, I need another 30 miles, pop them things or whatever, 20 miles, you can pop the extra 500 watt hours in there.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm waiting for battery technology to advance to the point where it's light enough,
right,
that you can swap the entire battery, and it's just like, hey, hold up. Pull it out, put a new one in, because that's what they do on e-bikes.
I believe it's there. They just hold on to that stuff right now, like some polymer batteries or something.
Yeah, I
graphene,
think something. I think the technology is coming. Elon, where you at?
Give us a call, man.
Yo, hit us up. Jingle. Let me know what you got. I know you got some battery tech that you ready to put out. He holding on to it to put it in his Tesla.
Yeah, I think Sensei, you've been doing a lot of research on battery technology, right?
Yeah, dude, I do. I kind of dabble a little bit. But you know what's funny?
Because I'm looking for the solid state, but I heard there's a bunch of other stuff.
Salt batteries.
Yep.
Salt, polymer. I'll tell you what's crazy. When I got a taste of the emotional damage of Inmotion's quality, right? And the vibe, he's here, so he can vouch for this. I went to the Hero demo, and I'm following him and Ronan back to HQ.
You told me that story.
So Vibes is on his Sherman, and then Ronan's on the Torque Hero. But the Torque Hero, dude, that thing was like getting beeps at like 32 or 33 miles an hour, and I'm rolling right with them on a V10F. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna cut this wheel out. And Vibes is like, how are you keeping up with us on a V10F? I'm like, that's it's the wheel, man. Yeah.
Were you riding the tilt back?
Dude, that thing, yeah, I'm riding it. But I was keeping up with him, man, on that thing. It's crazy.
Hey, you want to talk about crazy? Today we did our first Wheel Life group ride, and we rode out. And shouts out to everybody that was out there with me today.
Wheel Life Rally or just Wheel?
Wheel. I titled it Wheel Life just
right.
because
Okay.
this part, we don't have a lot going on in this part of the country, so I want to try and get more big rides. So I'm using Wheel Life to try and link them all together. You know,
Sheridan. That's his name, Sheridan.
Wheel Life Ride. Yeah.
Sorry, with the battery pack. Sheridan's his name.
Yes, that's who it is. So there was a guy with us today with a 18X. No, I'm sorry, 18L, not an 18XL.
Okay.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
L, right?
Yeah.
Toby. Shouts out to Toby. My man went on this ride with us, and we never left him behind. And he showed me his darkness bot. He pushed an 18L to 40.5 miles an hour.
That's something else.
Yo, I said that wheel don't do that fast. And he said, so I'm like, I know that sometimes the apps can be off by a couple miles per hour.
What app was he using?
I think it was Darkness Bot.
Yeah, Darkness Bot is known for being off,
or it could have been EUC World. I don't remember which one he showed me, but I was like, dude. And he's like, yeah. I said, but even if he was doing 38.
That's 38. Even that thing's only supposed to do like 31 miles an hour.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And he was doing that, and he was
unless he unlocked it.
He was sitting on an 18L with no seat.
Dude, I give you guys props.
But you know what? You're amazed at that. I'm amazed that the 18L still exists.
Yeah. He even had a what do you call it? What's the sleeve that you buy to put over it again?
Lazy rolling?
No, not the lazy rolling. The sleeve on the wheel. The oh my god.
Isn't it the one from Europe?
Yes, my girl, Kevin and Chrissy
down in New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah. I forgot, not lazy rolling.
Oh my god, I can't think of the name of it right
Rolling
now.
Z.
Yes,
Rolling Z coverage.
The bodyguard by Rolling Z. Yes, Rolling Z.
I'm sorry. I'm a country dude. I'm sorry.
Yo, they corrected me a couple times. Sorry, Cav. Sorry.
Rolling Z. Sorry.
But yeah, he had a bodyguard on it and everything. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, this dude is doing the damn thing, yo. What's good? And we had one guy on a V11.
Nice.
And he was way back there. But we also had little Liam.
Just want to say thank you to iCafe from Sweden. Appreciate that for 65 seconds.
I like his channel too. I watch his channel a lot, iCafe.
Yo, iCafe, I'm about to go watch some of your videos and put some likes on them. That's a lot of money. Thank you.
I always watch his channel. I love his videos.
He does the reviews, right?
He does reviews. He'll build batteries.
Yeah,
he's the one that'll take and build the different wheels, make the RS Ghost wheel and all that stuff. Yeah.
Sensei Vegan rides the V10F like it's a master. That's EUC vibes. Master Pro, a Master Pro.
Dude, and that was my wife's wheel too. I was riding, dude.
Wife's
like searching for it. Where did I put that wheel?
What is my wheel? Hey, no, wait, hold on. Why is my wheel dead?
I know.
Sensei's over in the corner looking around. I don't know. But so I had Liam White, little 9-year-old Liam White, and Ruben White, his father. They came on the ride.
Nice.
Yeah, they were coming. They haven't made it back from California. Remember, they went out to ride with Marty.
He's riding with Marty.
Yeah, he didn't make it back home yet. He said, I ain't home yet. I see you doing a group ride. Can I come by with Liam? I said, of course you can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yo, little Liam is no joke. I love that.
Yeah, he can ride too.
Yeah, he was riding an OG Master.
Yeah.
I mean, a Monster, not Master.
Yep. He rides a Monster.
A Monster V1. I said, look at this kid.
Yeah, man.
QQ asked, what will be the future? Is that a new one? Yes. What will the future of EUC battery be like? I'm watching a video on silicon anode batteries. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
All I care is that it's lighter, it's smaller, and it's powerful. And it's safe.
Yeah.
Because we don't need battery fires. So we don't need to push the envelope so much that we put ourselves in danger. But we do need them to be lighter, more powerful, and smaller so that we can put enough battery in these things to do anything, goes any distance we want, but at the same time be able to charge safely, put them in and be able to ship them. Because that's the thing, is the danger to go they don't let you take your wheel because it's so dangerous with fire.
Right.
So make it so that it's not a problem and you can take it with you. Imagine you going on a flight and you could take your wheel with you.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I'd be all over the world.
That's the problem now. Is like if you want to go somewhere, like how am I going to get my wheel there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's the problem.
I'm going to Florida. Where I started my vacation today. Me and the family are going to Florida for a week. We're leaving in a couple of days, and all I'm thinking is like, who's in Florida that I can ride with? And I'm like, I'm going to Orlando, so I don't think that Duff is that close to Orlando. I know he just moved. But I'm gonna reach out to him. But anybody else in Florida? I know we had somebody else in Florida.
Well, Mike in Tampa. He's in Tampa. That was Mike in Tampa.
Yeah. See, no, I'm gonna be going to Orlando, and I'm like, that's all I think about because I can't bring it. So, is there anybody that got one that I can borrow? You know what I mean? And that's sad. It should be nice for us to be able to travel. Even if even if we could travel for now, I'm like, let me take the batteries out. And then we had the ability to grab batteries wherever we went. You know what I mean? Yeah. That would be dope. You know,
that would be nice.
So if the technology was there where the batteries were so small or whatever, so we could travel with them and we could get more out of them. That to me is the key for batteries.
You can go to Costco and get you a bunch of like D batteries.
Yeah.
Radio Raw Ham.
With the move. All right, we getting silly now. All right.
Okay, so regarding are you done or should I?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so I just did a quick search on the future of battery tech. So the thing is there's no, what was your question? Let me see. Okay, so there's no real like what will the future of EUC battery look like? Rather, the question is what will be the future of batteries? Because remember, wherever the industry goes, we have no choice but to follow them. I don't think anybody's designing batteries specifically for us, but they are designing batteries for the EV world in general.
Right.
So what I found was this right here, and let me know what you think. Let me see, window, Chrome tab. You know what? Let me get out of there. Let me just read this real quick for you guys. I think it's interesting. Share window right here. Okay. Let me see what you guys are seeing.
Yep, we got it.
It's annoying with one screen, you know?
It's all right.
All right. So, all right, let me just make it this big. All right. So this is what it says. Get rid of this, get rid of that. All right. So every year, the world runs more and more on batteries. Electric vehicles passed 10% of global vehicle sales in 2022, and they're on track to reach 30% by the end of this decade. Policies around the world are only going to accelerate this growth. Recent climate legislation in the United States is pumping billions into battery manufacturing and incentives for PV purchases. So PVs are going nowhere, in my opinion. The European Union and several states in the U.S. passed bans on gas-powered vehicles starting in 2035. Wow. Were you going to say something? That's
it. I knew that ban was coming.
Interesting.
They talked about it already that by 2035 we had to really institute this battery thing because we were not going to allow, because gas is just so bad for our environment. The fumes and it's bad. So yeah, this is right on par with what we knew. So that's why I know battery technology is gonna really increase coming soon.
Right. I think the mayor or governor of Massachusetts said that by 2035 they want all cars to be EVs.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, the only issue with that, and some people there's some people with pushback, is the fact that batteries, what they're made of.
The lithium.
They're like,
well, this article is going to go into it.
Yeah, go ahead then hit that.
So it says the transition will require lots of batteries and better and cheaper ones. Most EVs today are powered by lithium-ion batteries, a decades meaning 10 years old technology that's also used in laptops and cell phones. All those years of development have helped push prices down and improve performance. So today's EVs are approaching the price of gas-powered cars. And wow, that is true. And can go for hundreds of miles between charges. Lithium-ion batteries are also finding new applications, including electricity storage on the grid that can help balance our intermittent renewable power sources like wind and solar. So let me just go down to this part where I really want to, let me see. Okay, so this one says, But there are still lots of room for improvement. Academic labs and companies alike are hunting for ways to improve the technology, boosting capacity, speeding charging time, and cutting costs. The goal is even cheaper batteries that will provide cheap storage for the grid and allow EVs to travel far greater distances on a charge. Wow. At the same time, concerns about supplies of key battery materials like cobalt and lithium
Mhm.
are pushing a search for alternatives to the standard lithium ion chemistry. Now let's go back. Let's go to the fun part. Um, what can we? Here's what we can expect for 2023. Okay, so this is directly answering your question here, or tackling your question. A radical rethink. Some dramatically different approaches to EV batteries could see progress in 2023, though they will likely take longer to make a commercial impact. One advance to keep an eye on this year is in so-called solid-state batteries. Lithium-ion batteries and related chemistries use a liquid electrolyte that shuttles charge around. Solid-state batteries replace this liquid with ceramics or other solid materials. Hence why it's called solid state, guys. It's not liquid where lithium ion is concerned.
Yep.
This swap unlocks possibilities that pack more energy into smaller space, to Cobra's point, potentially improving the range of the electric vehicles. Solid state batteries could also move charge around faster, meaning shorter charge times. And because some solvents used in electrolytes can be flammable, proponents of solid state battery say they improve safety by cutting fire risk.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Booyah.
Oh yeah. That was nuts. That was great. That was great.
And that's just one.
So then that goes
That's
to your
just-
point. We can
yeah.
travel. We can probably travel now.
But
Yeah.
that's just one
That's
of
just
the
one.
things that they're looking into.
Oh yeah, that's
And-
only one of them.
Right. And I know that they're pushing it forward, but the proponents of gas powered vehicles, people who just love the status quo, and yes, the industry makes billions and billions of dollars off us for gas powered vehicles. They don't want to let go. They want their high powered whatever Mustangs or whatever gobble gas and whatever. But they're talking about how bad lithium is and how bad the liquid is. And then they're like, well, what do you do with it when it's discharged? Then we're
Right.
talking about the recycling and
Disposing it, all
and
that. Yeah.
disposing of it is going to mess with the environment and stuff. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that there's not something to be said for that. I'm just saying that if we know this is the direction we need to go, and we do realize in 2023, we are way too behind in getting rid of fossil fuel. We know that fossil fuel is bad for us. We know that it's bad for our environment. We know that we're beyond that. So we have to move forward. So if it's not going to be lithium ion that really continues to push the way, then solid state, whatever, but we have to get it underway and make it happen. So I like that they gave us a deadline. They're like 2035, y'all have to have this figured out. Bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I have my own take on that stuff. I don't believe it's all bells and whistles. I don't believe it's all roses and whatever people say.
It's not.
But the thing is, the transition from gasoline or what people call fossil fuels. I don't think it's fossil fuels. I just think it's a naturally occurring thing in the earth.
Thank you.
No, what is it?
I think that too. I think
that's
that too.
That's ridiculous in my opinion. But the point is, I get their point. The thing is, transitioning to these new states. Now, batteries in general, okay, and this is the truth. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Batteries in general they don't create energy. So they store energy.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that energy coming from?
That's the thing is a battery has to be charged. That's the point of it. So electricity, electricity is absorbed by the battery, stored, and then given back. And
so my point I'm trying to say is that you're not going to get rid of so-called fossil fuels. You're just going to transition the fossil fuels in like one area, like away, so you don't feel bad about using it. And then you're gonna convert it to electricity. I mean, you could use like green technology and stuff like that, but
you don't need fossil fuel to generate electricity, though.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
No, you can.
Look, you don't need it.
You can use wind.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like
solar.
You could use wind, you could use solar, you could do all that stuff. But my point is, right now, if you want a robust energy now and all the time consistently, you're not going to rely on renewables.
Yeah, solar. You look. Even Elon is relying on solar because solar is a natural occurring thing. So if you can build, that's why solar has been getting better and better and better, because they're trying to make it so that you can sustain whatever you need. If I can put enough panels, high tech, brand new panels, because I have older panels on mine that don't produce enough, but if you can put enough panels and they're high tech, brand new panels that put out enough electricity, then you don't need any fossil fuel.
Right.
All you would need is the sun, because they store the electricity as well in those because Tesla's new roof, they look just like shingles, but they're solar panels.
The solar panels.
And they're so high tech. You utilize that, and then you absorb that energy and use it for when you need it. You don't need any fossil fuel. So it's possible. And then if you needed to, you could offset that with some wind turbines. It's doable. We can do it. It's just that it takes a little bit to get it done, and we need to just make it happen. Did you know that that many of the car companies started making electric vehicles way back and they shelved it?
Yeah, they were before petrol cars.
Yeah,
the first cars were actually electric.
Yeah, and then they shelved.
And then it was all about this.
Yeah, money. Yeah,
money. They stopped it.
And I was like, wow.
Electric.
So now they're kicking and screaming, basically being dragged back to doing it. They didn't really want to do it because they're making billions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, man, we're more important than that money.
What's really cool too is Aptera. You ever heard of that company?
I have.
Now they have 3 models, if I'm not mistaken. They have a 400-mile range, 600, and 1,000. Now they even have it to the point where they have solar panels on the car. If you drive like 40 miles a day, you don't even have to. It'll recharge it up to 40 miles.
You park it outside.
More than 40 miles, it'll just keep recharging it for you.
Park it outside, and you never need to fill it up.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I saw it. I was looking at it. I was like,
Yeah, and the thing is with the car, the batteries aren't huge.
No,
but it's the way the aerodynamics and everything, it all works.
Did you see? And then the Tesla truck, the solar panels on the back. So I'm like, oh man, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on, man. Now those panels are not big enough to absorb enough energy to push that truck, but it's enough to offset a little bit.
Right.
So you won't have to charge as much when you plug it up. You get solar offsets it a little bit. And I'm like, man, these possibilities are there. So anyway, we're getting into a little political stuff. People might not like.
You have to,
but it is what it is.
Well, there's some Teslas. We'll test ride them things for you.
So the point I'm trying to make is that as much as they're trying to transition away from that, it's going to take a long time, because even now, on average, I'm looking at, getjerry.com. This was, I can't tell when it was, but it says on average, the cars in America, okay, we'll move on from that because it doesn't prove my point. Let's go on.
Okay, so I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't think they're going to dump.
It's going to take a little longer, yeah.
Vector Coaster says, imagine sometime in the future you could have a helmet that charges your EUC through solar, and you could go infinite distances.
I could see that, but it wouldn't be with the current technology with lithium.
No, that's why he said sometime in the future. But imagine that. Yeah, I mean, you got a silver helmet that has all solar, and you're like, where you going? I think I'm gonna ride to Cali. That's crazy. Oh man. Yeah. He said an EUC that charges during the ride. Brilliant.
We need an EUC that rides hopes and dreams.
Hey, if they ran on hopes and dreams, we never need a charge.
Never needed it. Sand batteries too. Look, if anyone researched sand batteries, you'd be surprised what they do with that too. That's amazing. Yeah? Sand batteries, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is the technology. It's just mass producing it and making it sustainable.
Yeah. And they're working on it. I just think that not everybody was like everybody was not on board, and that was the thing. And I think the legislation that has come up now, when they're giving them a deadline, is making them say, I don't give a damn if you can, you don't want to do it. You're doing it. And
Right.
I'm like, sometimes we need that push.
I think
You
it
know?
was the Gas Hole. There's a documentary on Netflix called Gas Hole.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking to a battery development company, and they said at one point they were actually told to stop development.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
Yep. It was
again,
real. It
it's the
was
money,
real.
yeah.
They were strong armed.
yeah.
They were like, look, hey, you gonna stop making them batteries.
That's reality, dude.
Yo, legit. So, but anyway, all right, man. I think I need to wrap it up here.
It's been
fun, but
2 hours and 39 minutes.
Yeah, you know how we do. We'll talk forever.
Keep on rolling.
You know, I love talking about it, but you know, I am in the house, in the basement, and in trouble as usual.
Oh, really? Oh, you're being summoned? Are you being summoned?
Yeah, because they were like, "You doing another live stream?" I was like, "Well,
another one. When was the last one?"
No, I'm like, this time it ain't me. You know? I'm just a guest. They're like, whatever. That's why I don't do as many as I could, because it takes time away. So, but yeah, I didn't see nothing in the chat from anybody in Florida.
I think
near Orlando. But if somebody is near Orlando, reach out to me. And if you know somebody in that area, reach out to me. Let me know, because I would like to go do something, a little something while I'm there.
Sorry about your wheels, man.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I hope I can figure this out.
I know how you feel, because I got 2 that's down. So
yeah. Look, if it wasn't for the fact that I hadn't sold the Monster Pro, and I keep wanting to put up like a poster with the Monster Pro and the price, and because the wheel only has 500 something miles on it. It's like brand new, and it got a brand new tire and all the extras and shit. I'm like, I want to put a post together to put it out there, but I haven't, because I hate letting it go. And I'm like, look, see, if I had sold it already, I would have been stranded today.
That's true. Yeah.
Although I do have a Commander Pro coming to replace it, so
with suspension.
Yeah, so maybe that would have been here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah,
well,
you guys.
Cobra, thanks, man. I really appreciate you joining the live.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you inviting me, and as usual, we always have a good time hanging out, y'all.
Yep.
We'll keep pushing everybody further and trying to make this the best it could possibly be. Yeah. Like always, I'll see you guys soon at the rally, if not before. And y'all have a good night.
WheelLifeRally.com, right?
That's right. WheelLifeRally.com.
Yeah.
And AmpedElectricGames.com. Both. Check them out. Go check out the sites. Grab your tickets. Get ready. Because I'm excited. This year's gonna be I'm
coming to win. I'm coming to win.
That's right. Oh, he's coming. Yeah, just don't come on the Tesla. Don't.
Dude, I'm actually working on that.
Don't come on the Tesla, man.
Nah, dude, I think the Tesla might be on its way out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Because remember, that was that bad accident. I got it fixed, but I think now, it's still a couple extra. I mean, the body and stuff is cool, but I think something on the inside is messing up on it, man. I mean, that thing took a really, really bad knock.
Yeah. And you got to be careful, because I bought a Tesla and it was like shaking. It would go and do this crazy. I was like, oh, nope, that got to go.
Yeah. I think that's what mine's starting to do now, too. I thought the control board might be loose.
No, I think it's the battery.
Yeah.
It's probably loose.
I don't know. It wasn't that. Mine, the battery wasn't loose. I don't know.
What about the hanger? Is
nope.
It like no?
I did. I took that wheel apart. Maybe? I tightened everything in there.
Maybe that. Yeah.
The axle nuts would come loose, and I would tighten them back up, and then it would be better for a minute, and then I was like, no, and then I would go to tighten them. I'm like, but they're tight, so it's not that. What is it? I couldn't figure it out. But it's the clearance that's the problem on the Tesla. It just has no clearance.
Not mine.
Yeah. Well,
remember I raised it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, it's much higher.
Yeah.
Spartacus says it's never good when the family says another one.
Dude, that's the problem I'm having right now. You gonna get another one? I'm like,
Spartacus says thanks for chilling, Cobra.
Yeah, Spartacus, my man. Yeah.
Vector says see you, Cobra.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. Appreciate
Yeah.
Great
y'all.
show, guys. Yeah, it was a great show. It was a great show, guys.
Yeah,
it
this was
awesome.
fantastic. This was fantastic.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I love it because we all share the same spirit. So
it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is fantastic.
If you had like a different PV,
yeah,
man, I don't know what kind of live this would be right
now. Well, we'll work on that. I mean, I would like to branch out. I don't know about y'all, but I would like to have other things as well. It's just PEVs have my heart.
PEVs do not have my heart. That's funny.
No?
Only EUCs.
Well, I mean EUCs, not PEVs. EUCs have my heart.
No, I wasn't saying that as a jab. I'm just like, it's so interesting. Like I see a lot of other PEVs. I'm just not into them. It's so
no, but that's what I mean. I like look at them and I'm like, hey, I want to try that. But then I look at a wheel and go, never mind.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. Like I see other things and I'm like, oh, I want to try that. And I'm like, yeah, but I could get another wheel though, because
I'm the same way.
The guy, like that electric drift trike that I was trying.
Yeah, the trike. He was so happy about it, right?
Yeah, I was having so much fun with that thing, and I was like, I would really like to demo that, but he has a small company, so he's like, I really can't afford to just send one. I can sell it to you and give you a good discount, but I was like, yeah, but I could buy another wheel.
Right.
I'm like, I can't buy anything else that costs.
Instead of raising the roof, Sensei raises the pedals.
Oh man.
Yo,
in retrospect, the pedals on the Tesla now are about the same height as the V10F.
Oh boy!
So they set up pretty high actually.
Look, yo, Lucifer, you was late, but you funny.
That's a good one. I'm putting that on the shirt.
Everyone's like this. Sensei is like at the bottom, like.
Oh man, that's
you guys are crazy. All right, good night. I'm out.
All right, I'm out. Thanks, sir. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Oh man! Wow. Well. That was a beautiful live, guys. It was a beautiful live. Thanks for these guys coming on. This was fantastic, and we really wanted to pass along that information from Inmotion to you guys. And it's clear that Inmotion is not a company that forgot who they were, and I would also say that Begode is not a company that forgot who they were. They actually are still staying true to who they were from the very beginning, which is hilarious if you think about it. They're exactly who they were when they started. Many people call them shoddy back then. Today, they still have that, aura about them. But one thing I will never take away from Begode is performance. But I can clearly see that Inmotion is slowly catching up. If you haven't had a chance to ride the V13, my goodness, definitely take it. I hope you have the opportunity to do that, because the wheel has the same feeling as the Begode. It really does. The performance is there. The acceleration is there for such a massive wheel. In many instances, I give it a plus, like a 2 thumbs up in terms of like pure performance compared to like a Monster Pro even. So Inmotion knows what they're doing. They're learning from their mistakes with the V12. Well, I can say that they've learned from their mistakes. We still have to wait and see how long they can go with with issues not coming out, because there are minor issues here and there with the bugs, the batteries not being on, or some people having trouble turning it off, etc., etc. These are software issues. Hopefully they can address that. But that's funny. Stan is asking a very important question here. He's saying, is Librachem in the performance conversation? So here's the thing, right? My experience with the Librachem, that is the Sherman, is that it is a performance wheel, but it's not a wheel that had the torque. Now with the Sherman Max, was it? I believe that had a little bit more torque, but it definitely did not have the speed. And now you have the Sherman S. That's mostly an off-roading wheel. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could ride it on-road. I did get to feel it a little bit in Springfield when I went to pick up the V13 from the Black Cobra. So I would like to have more time to spend with it. I hate talking about wheels that I've never experienced, But what I will do is watch a lot of other people's videos and see what they say about it. But Librachem is a performance machine. It's a performance company. In fact, that's how they came out. It's unfortunate that their Abrams messed up and was not able to hold on to that performance, banner. But they quickly fixed that. They quickly got rid of that and came out with the Sherman Max and the refresh Sherman Max and the Sherman S. So. But in general, I'm very happy with Inmotion because now we know that these companies, they learn a lot from each other. So if one company is doing something great, the other companies tend to copy them. They copy them in all aspects. You saw that, Bigot just released a crazy wheel and it has orange. I mean, something simple as that, but it shows you that they're paying attention. This is all marketing. You know what I mean? People are falling for the orange. Bigot's like, I'm going for the orange too. So it's working. Now, let's hope that, with all the craze that the V13 got, where the Raptor board is concerned, where the quality of the material is concerned, all that stuff is concerned, that, people like Bigot or companies like Bigot grab on and copy their safety feature where battery management is concerned and tilt back or speed control is concerned. Because that 20% margin is beautiful. Okay, that's always been my main concern, and that's always been most people's main concern. So I'll just put that up there. So yes, the answer to your question, Stan, is yes. Librachem is in the performance conversation. It's just that I don't think the Sherman S, again, I don't like talking about wheels that I've never really ridden, but it doesn't seem to me that the Sherman S is a high performance wheel. I mean, it looks like mostly an off-roading wheel. And to be fair, it seems like that's what they promoted it as. So, but I would still like to experience it. I'd still like to experience that wheel just to see what it has to give. But the V13 for such a massive wheel, dude, 22 inch, I believe. Or is it 20 inch? Anyway, it's a 20 plus inch wheel. I'm very impressed with the performance, the overall performance of that wheel. I mean, you could just tell, just watch my video. You can see how I throw that thing around. And there's no way I'd be able to throw a massive wheel like that around unless it had torque, unless it had a ton of torque. And I'm very pleased with their execution of that wheel. 22. Thank you, Road Trip. Thank you, Road Trip. I appreciate that. So I never thought I'd be able to ride a 22-inch wheel the way I ride an 18-inch wheel. I mean, come on, that's unheard of. But thanks again to that 10,000 watt motor, 10,000 peak motor, which allows for the buffer. Because you always wonder, okay, so they have a 10,000 watt motor, but they're only bringing it down to a nominal 45 or sometimes, 30 or 5,000, somewhere in the middle. That's what nominal means, okay? It's that beautiful area where you can get the most performance out of the motor without overheating it or causing it to lose longevity over time. So it has that buffer, that 20% buffer that I've always wanted in a wheel, and I just can't wait to finally test it after I've fixed that suspension. So once that suspension is fixed and I can safely ride that wheel at 50, 55 miles an hour, and that tilt back comes on and says, hey, I'm done with you, back off. That would be a pleasure to experience. If you guys or any of you in this chat have experienced it, definitely share with us in the comments. Let us know how you felt. Did you feel afraid? Did you feel nervous? Did you feel confidence? What did you feel? And that's what I'm feeling with the V13 is a lot of confidence. So I can't wait to ride it again for such a massive wheel. I can't believe I'm that excited about a massive wheel. But one of my goals now is to take that wheel into the wild, into New York, and see if I can hold up or hang out with those guys on one of their long trips. Because even though it's at 3,024 watt hours, I'd really like to see how can it really hold up in the real world, okay? Because a lot of people are complaining, oh, it's a massive wheel, but the battery is not really big. Sure, you're right, it's not big. It's only 300 watt hours more than a basic EXN. I love the EXN. But in terms of the size comparison, it's a whole lot of wheel for a whole lot less in terms of battery, right? Capacity. So I would like to see what their battery management looks like when you put it in the real world among other riders, especially in New York. So New York is a massive place. If you want to test a wheel, go to New York or California, because these places are massive. Unlike Boston, Boston's really small, it's really close, so I can't wait to take it there. But let me see some more of your comments. EUC with Lucifer says, my Sherman S feels performance adjacent. Interesting. Good range, good speed. Isn't it 36? Let me see. Let me see something here. I think it's 36 watt hours, right? So if we go and we check the Sherman S, see, there's so many wheels, I can't even keep up, guys. Literally, I can't keep up. I have to be like a newscaster now, because I don't really get the opportunity to ride all these wheels. So it's a 3,600 watt hour battery. I mean, this is fantastic. You see, 3,600 watt hour battery. It's surprising to me that Inmotion was not able to do that, that they were not able to increase the battery from the onset. But, to their credit, they did say they will release another range of wheels in that category, the V13 that is, and I believe the Explorer, where, the range won't be an issue. So 3,000 watt hours, 3,024 watt hours, expect that to be the least among that class of wheels from Inmotion. So moving forward, they'll definitely take care of that. But EUC with Lucifer, it's good that, you said it just can't super lean to get there at all. And that is a problem for me. That's a problem for me. The wheel, in my opinion, if I want performance, if I have to put a stamp on a wheel to say it has performance, there has to be torque. It has to be torque. And again, Bigode has been my benchmark, but now with a bigger wheel like the V13, that has now become a second benchmark for me, because I've already compared it to the Monster Pro. The Monster Pro does not compare to the V13, dude. Like, at all. Like, the Monster Pro might be a beautiful ride, but in terms of pure performance, holy smokes, man, the V13 will destroy a Monster Pro. And this is just my opinion. Hey, if you have a Monster Pro out there and you want to set a challenge, let me know, and I will challenge you to a race on a circuit. I don't want to have the cars involved, but I really feel extremely confident with the V13 over Monster Pro. The Black Cobra, they are definitely in the performance conversation. That's regarding the Sherman S. Sherman S, yeah. Sherman S is amazing and does 53 miles per hour with the best suspension out now. Yeah. So 53 miles per hour is nice. But again, I'm very curious to see what type of performance that Sherman S has. Yes, it does 53 miles an hour. The Monster Pro does 55 plus, right? But it doesn't have the torque. It doesn't have the torque to keep you safe if you decide to push it from 45 miles an hour to like 50 miles an hour. You're going to have to gradually get there. Whereas the V13, I don't feel I need to gradually get there. I can, push it really hard and really delve into that 10,000 watt peak motor power to get me where I need to go. So I don't have to feel I don't have to hold back with the V13, whereas the Monster Pro, I feel I might have to. But I'm very curious to see what the Sherman S has to offer in terms of pure performance. Stan says, with the information presented tonight with Inmotion, would you suggest waiting for the 4 category releases before buying a Bigode Extreme or Patent? Well, I'm not interested in an Extreme. I'm not interested in a Patent. I really want just a few wheels, okay? And I've been working on that for a while. I wouldn't mind adding that V13 to my list. Maybe one with more battery, obviously, but I would really like to go to New York and see what that means. What does that 3,024 hour watt hour mean? Like, how did they really handle the battery management? That's what I want to see. Because overall, in terms of performance, I just never thought I'd be happy pulling out a massive wheel like that. I just never thought it. I always looked at the Monster Pro as if it was just, one of those guys that likes to ride real far because of the battery capacity. But now I see how Inmotion has executed with this wheel, and I just can't get enough of it right now. So I just can't wait to ride it more. But to answer your question, I'm not interested in a Bigode Extreme or a Patent. I'm interested in the Commander Pro and the EX30. These are the 2 wheels I'm genuinely interested in right now. And you can add the V13 to that list, because the V13 is a complement to how I ride. Okay, it doesn't take away from how I really want to ride. So that's why I love it so much. Road Trip says it is a massive wheel, but once you get used to it, it doesn't exactly. And let me read your comment fully. It's a massive wheel, but once you get used to it, it doesn't feel massive. It's very nimble, exactly. And it's surprising. It's so surprising that this massive wheel acts like an EXN. Like literally, dude, give me that wheel, I'll go to a racetrack and I will win. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm not saying I will win, but that's how I feel. I feel this wheel has so much to offer, especially where the safety is concerned. Because half the time when I push my EXN, I'm concerned about pushing it beyond its limit. You know what I mean? And then there's no tilt back. I'm waiting for a forward dip. This thing has a tilt back, a 20% safety margin that's bred into the firmware of the device. So I'm not worried about crashing. Whereas these other wheels, I have to come up with different methods. But this wheel is just on a different level for its size. So the release, again, is just freaking amazing. So shout out to Road Trip because he just validated what I said. It's a big wheel. That motor is where it's at, man. And that Raptor board, holy smokes, man. Well built. Now, it would be amazing if they released a much smaller wheel, but with all that technology built into it. Holy smokes, then Inmotion will just skyrocket. Because now the entry to the barrier, which is the weight of the wheel, is just non-existent now. It's non-existent now because now your excuse is not. There's a guy who reached out to me the other day and he's like, hey, well, he reached out to a bunch of people, but he was selling his V13 and he wasn't selling his V13 because he didn't like the V13. He was selling the V13 because, it was too big for his car. It was too big for his storage area. And I asked him, hey, didn't you think about this before? And he's like, yeah, I did. I measured everything. And he still got it because he really wanted the wheel. Why did he want the wheel? Because that wheel was the only wheel on the market that was offering everything: performance, speed, safety, right? Design philosophy, so all of that stuff was inbred into just one wheel. The issue is it was just big. And that didn't get in his way. That's how a company built a great wheel. So shout out to Inmotion and shout out to that guy. Sorry he had to sell it. But if Inmotion comes out with a much smaller wheel with everything else inbred in that firmware, holy smokes, Inmotion to the moon. Road Trip says, it took me maybe 3 days to get used to it. Yeah, it took me about 5 days. It took me about a week to get used to it. So you've been riding a lot more than me, I'm sure. But it pretty much took me a week to really get used to this wheel. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Sitting on that wheel is beautiful. I sit on my EXN and I sit on my MSP and I have to constantly go down. It's a challenge. I say to myself, it's not a challenge, but it is a challenge. It's just that after you do it every now and then or so often, it feels like it's not a challenge. But sitting on that wheel is a beautiful experience. Why? Because you're on the wheel, you're sitting, and you have that beautiful handle right in front of you. The size is correct because now your posture is perfect. You're not hunched over or anything like that. I mean, it's a lot of people had memes about the MSP, how, when you sit on it, it looks like you're in the bathroom because of how low you have to sit. But the V13, it's the right height. It's like a monster. But like I said, it will beat a Monster Pro any day. And anyone who wants to challenge me, let me know. Road Trip again says the pedal height isn't that high either. Similar to a V11. I love the pedal height. I love everything about it. I actually crashed once, thinking that the pedal height was so high, but I got a little too comfortable and I pedal clipped and fell. But Stan says, you suggested 22-inch wheels should be the performance standard. In your opinion, will Kingsong offer recommended sizes? I'm not really concerned about Kingsong right now. I think they need to take a step back. I think the direction they're going with their S19 is good. 1700 watt-hour battery. I think that wheel is really good. So let's see where they go with that. Let's see how they approach that. The S22 Pro, I watched Wrong Way's video on it. He seems to like it. I was expecting him to do a little bit more torquey tests uphill and stuff like that, but I expected him to do a little bit more torque tests because most of the tests he did was going down hills and downstairs, which also is important, but there's less resistance when you're going down, right? So I kind of expected a little bit more because I know that's what he does. But I'm not too sold on Kingsong yet. Because Kingsong has always been that last mile ride, last mile wheel type of company. and they've tried to dabble with performance and stuff like that. I'm just a performance guy. I'll be that until I get something else, I guess. But I'm gonna say Inmotion. I'm sorry. King Song should just take their time, get things done right, and don't be too eager to get into the performance world. And as far as off-roading is concerned, Shibi has shown that, hey, they've done great. They've executed perfectly with their suspension, so work on their torque a little bit more. That way people don't have to worry about that, because off-roading, you need a lot of torque. You need a lot of motor power. You need a lot of, battery. So hopefully they can figure that out. Stan says, have you scrapped your portability narrative? No, I haven't. What I've done is just I've adopted a new category, and I never thought I would. I was never interested in the Monster Pro per se. Like I kind of eyed it, but I was never really into it. The Master X, the Master Pro, they look great, which I just wanted to test them out to experience them, but I wasn't really into them per se. But after experiencing the V13 and the performance that it has, I just added it as another category. Hence why I'm interested in the Commander Pro. I'm interested in the Commander Pro because it is pretty much similar in terms of like size, maybe, to the V13, but better manageable. Maybe I'm wrong with this. Let me look at the dimensions here for a second. So if I go to the Commander Pro, the Commander Pro EB, what's that? Commander Pro is, I wonder, where's that chart? There's a chart. Okay, there we go. So you have the height chart. And if we look at the Commander Pro, we see that the Commander Pro without the handle up is 26 inches. And if we look at the, so it's very similar. The V13 is 28 inches, 28.8 inches high, tall. And then you have the Commander Pro, which is 2 inches less. So they're pretty similar, but the way I see people riding the Commander Pro, it's a lot more fun. Okay, the Commander Pro looks a lot more fun, and I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. The V13 is nice, but that Commander Pro is really getting to me. So we'll see what happens. The Black Cobra. It has a safety buffer and has that higher torque boost. I'm very curious to see what that safety buffer is with the Sherman S Black Cobra. So and tilt back. What about the tilt back? You mentioned that Leaper Kim has tilt back. I'm very curious to see how that tilt back works. Is it dynamic? Meaning whatever speed I set, that's automatically going to set the tilt back, or do I have to set the tilt back? You know what I mean? I know with the V13, it's whatever you set. If you set the speed at 45 miles an hour, that's the limit, and then it's going to start tilting you back, and that's just no-brainer for me. You see with Lucifer, why I use words like adjacent and good, not super great. Yeah, you threw me off guard for a second when you said adjacent, but I understood what you meant. Linear. It's agreeing with each other. Louis Charles NYC says, my first wheel was Inmotion and I would go for a next Inmotion. Dude, if Inmotion can just take their time like they did with the V13 and just bring it down the same size, like a smaller version wheel, maybe like the Master, not the Master Pro, but what was it again? The Master, goodness gracious, the Master, that size, or even the Commander Pro, or even the Sherman, but not really. I don't think they'll do that. But even the Sherman, or even the Sherman S, to be specific, if they could do something like that with true suspension and a really good range, holy smokes, they're going to go through the roof. They're going to go through the roof because now, like I said, the barrier that's holding people back from buying that V13, which is the weight and the range. Yeah, let's not forget the price too. They're going to go through the roof. Stan, any idea on suspension configuration Inmotion will offer in the next release? They said that they will include linkages and they will include true suspension in their next wheels. So from what I understand, they will not be including, this is from what I understand. This could be wrong, but he did mention that their next wheels, they're looking toward true suspension with linkages and everything, just like the Master, just like the Sherman S. Well, actually, no, not like the Sherman S. Just like the Master or Bigot in general. So expect their next wheels to have true suspension. Maybe except this is for their higher end wheels. For their lower end wheels, meaning like the Courage wheel, the entry wheels, you might still have something similar to the V13. E. Simon says there are already a couple of V13 for sale in my area. It's much bigger wheel than something. Exactly. Again, because people really trust Inmotion. They really trusted that, you know, this company is going to come out there and this is going to, if they'll even give it a break on the range. But it's the quality. It's the quality and the design philosophy that they and the safety, man. Like there's 20% safety margin built into the wheel. Holy smokes, you know, so that you don't have to worry about cutout. But when people actually got it in their hands, yeah, it shocked a lot of people. I was actually shocked on the opposite side. I thought it looked smaller than it was because most people were saying how big it was. So when it finally came out and I saw it, I'm like, holy smokes, it's big, but interesting. I could manage this. Because the number one thing that distinguished the V13 from like a wheel like the Monster or the Master X is how thin it is because of those 18650s. It's a thin wheel, which means under your legs or between your legs, you're not worried about hurting the inner thighs or being able to maneuver left and right or manage that thing like a toy. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I did. So you're right. It did shock a lot of people. The size did shock a lot of people, but I don't think it's because I think they knew it was a big wheel. They just thought that when they got it, they'd be able to manage it. And the reason they probably went along with it is because they wanted to give Inmotion a chance. They didn't want to put their life on the line with other companies, and they knew Inmotion would deliver where safety is concerned, which they did. But hey, you can't get around an elephant, right? So that easily. Stan, do you believe you assess the V13's peak performance? Not yet. The suspension messed me up. Once the suspension is fixed, I will put on my red jacket and I will really, what I'm going to do, this is the next video, I will have my red jacket, because when I say my red jacket, that jacket has padding everywhere, padding, back, side, everywhere, right? The regular jacket you guys see me wear, that's just my regular jacket. It's a regular rain jacket. There's nothing, no padding, nothing. So when you see me ride the way I ride, I'm really still just testing the wheel. When I put that red jacket on, I plan on really pushing that wheel to its limits, and that will determine whether it gets the red U-Stride sticker. It's going to be a sticker like this, and it's going to have a red circle, and I'm going to slap it on there, and it's going to say performance, okay, to my standards. So, okay, so back to your question, Stan. You said, do you believe you assessed the V13's peak performance? Nope, not even close. I have not even touched the peak performance yet. The top speed I've done in that wheel is 37, 38. That was it. I'm sorry, 47, 48. When you guys saw my first video, when it was beeping, that was 47 miles an hour because I had set it to that. I always whenever I get a wheel, I always ride it about 200 miles, but, you know, hard, soft, whatever, just to, you know, bring out any issues that it might have. If it happens after that, then that's unfortunate for me, but hopefully that doesn't happen. It's called the baking in period. You got to bake it, you know, break it in, but it's like a cake. You don't just eat a cake. You got to slowly bake it. And then when it's good, you eat it. So that's what I'm doing. If not, how much do you believe was left before departing? Wow. I honestly don't know, but I think this thing has a lot more to give. It has a lot more to give. I don't think I've ever ridden a wheel that's 4,500 watt nominal. I don't think I've ever ridden a wheel that's 10,000 peak. So there's a lot more to give, Stan. This thing has a lot more to give. So, and like I said, that 20% buffer, not buffer, but 20% safety margin is insane along with that buffer. So the fact that I was able to ride it the way I did was just a testament to how much more it has to give, because I haven't beaten up that wheel yet. I haven't. I can't wait to do it. EC with Lucifer. The V11 like suspension of the V13 is what turned me off to getting. That makes sense. I'll have to borrow my buddy's V13 for a few days before I change. Look, if you have the V13, don't just get on it. In my opinion, don't just get on it and make a decision. Ride that thing for a week. Ride it for 2 weeks. Ride it for a month. And don't ride it for a month straight. Take a few breaks, you know, and then make a decision. If the weight is an issue for you, I recommend ride it for 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks, if you know someone with it. or if you purchased it, ride it consistently in different scenarios, off-roading, on-roading, on the grass, etc., etc. Push it around, get acquainted with the weight, and then determine whether or not it's for you, because you did get it and you got it for a reason. You're not gonna make a decision whether it's a wheel for you right away. It's gonna take time, and that's almost with any wheel. So the Black Cobra says the tiltback works really interesting. So you can ride the tiltback, and do you know the safety margin of that tiltback? That's cool, man. I would like to see that. EUC vibes. The things Shibi does with S22 is what sold me on the King song. I'd like to experience that King song S22. Not to kill it. I want to ride it. Because I didn't get the chance to ride it. It just blew up because of whatever. But I'd really like a chance to ride that S22, to be honest with you. EUC vibe. You can test my Master Pro. Really? Well, next time. Okay, I appreciate that, EUC vibes. I appreciate that. I'll let you know when I'm coming to EUC to NYC. Yeah, come to NYC. Yeah, my plan is to come up there or down there and hang out with Sensei Vegan. So we'll see. E. Simon, yep, the V13 was exactly as big as I expected. Being thinner makes the size workable, though. Exactly, and this is where they compromised. They had to compromise between the 18650. I'm sorry, between using the 21700, which has way more battery density, which would give you way more range, but you're gonna lose the rideability of the wheel. And the wheel, it's so big, like I said, but it's so rideable. It's so rideable. Okay, and that's again all thanks to the 18650s. But we did ask him before we left, do you plan on using the 21700s in your future wheels? And he said absolutely. And I specifically asked him, I said, but isn't that going to increase the width of the wheel, making it less rideable? And he said, we have some solutions for that. So they know what they're doing. I like that they're thinking this. If you look at the Inmotion, right, and you go up 2/3 of the way, you'll see from the front view or back view, you'll see that it begins to taper off. So 2/3 of the way up of the wheel, you'll see that it begins to curve. Okay, why? Because they understand riding dynamics. You can tell Inmotion studied that wheel. They studied how people ride. Librakim did a terrible job with the Abrams, because with the Abrams, the moment I saw E-Ride showed the top part of the Abrams, I knew it was a no-go wheel, because it was almost coming out wider at the top, and that was a bummer for me, because I really wanted that wheel. But that alone, besides all the other problems of that wheel, that particular part where I need there to be space so I can maneuver, I saw that and I was like, nope, I'm going to get hit by a car and I'm not going to be able to escape. So, but that wheel, holy smokes, man. I just need some time with that. Go to New York and hang out with some of the riders there and gain some more skills on how to avoid cars. But that wheel is great. Two Slice says, I love my V12 high speed. Never had a cutout. Nice. Hey, not everybody had, so keep it that way. Shout out to you, Two Slice. EUC with Lucifer says, red jacket means business. He feels the need, the rest. No, absolutely. That red jacket, man. I mean, it's not all thanks to the red jacket. It's just, it means that I've ridden the wheel enough to really go out there and test it. You know what I mean? Because look, when I test it with the way I really want to test it, like push it, then I don't have to push it like that anymore. I know what I got. And if I really want to do that for whatever reason, whether it be a race, whether it be a challenge, whether it's just me on a night, with no cars, or early morning trying to go somewhere and I really want to push it, I'm not worried anymore because I've tested it. Road trip salmon. Not sure what that means. Stan, will you be entering the future races? That's my plan. That is my plan. You have the skills and knowledge to be a top racer. In your opinion, what areas needs development to be number one? What do you mean? Development as a rider or by the companies? Because as a rider, Zen Lee. So if you looked at my race in Apple Valley Speedway, I crashed, right? Now, there's a reason I crashed. There are several reasons that I crashed. But the main reason I crashed is because I said Sensei. Zen Lee specifically gave us a pep talk, and I still haven't made the video yet. But he gave us a pep talk, and he said, if you feel adrenaline, you need to stop. You need to relax, calm down. And because I did such a great time, okay, I was right. I think I was right. My time was similar to Show's time. So I was pumped, and I saw Show right in front of me when we were getting ready for the race, and I was so pumped, right? And I was literally like, "Let's go, let's go, let's do this!" Like that. And I completely forgot what Zen Lee said. Completely forgot. He said, if you experience a surge in adrenaline, you need to slow down because now you're not thinking straight. You're too hyped, and that's what happened. I was too hyped. It's not the wheel's fault because I tested the wheel the whole week. So yeah, it cut out on me due to a fuse being popped, but that was me. That was all me just being too hyped. And so I would say discipline, because I had no discipline right there. I would absolutely say discipline. And it's not so much the wheel, but it's more about the lines, learning the lines of racing. Yeah, knowing your wheel, having discipline, okay, and knowing the track. Sensei Vegan gave me a good advice before I race. He said, race the track. Don't race the people, race the track. And in the moment, man, in the moment when you have all these plans in your head of how you're gonna race, but when you get to actually race and you see those people that you've been thinking about racing for all this time and they're next to you, holy smokes, man! Like I threw all of his advice out the window, all of it out the window, and like Road Trip says, he went Super Saiyan. Yep. I went nuts. I was just like, come on, let's go. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Black Cobra says, yes, you can sit and ride the tilt back, and the safety margin is 20%. Wow. Well, if that's the case, then, it looks like, well, I mean, shout out to Libricam because they did implement this way before, okay? While Inmotion had the tilt back all along with all their wheels, I don't think they had that 20% margin, the safety margin baked into their firmware. So I'm gonna have to give credit to Libricam for that, right? So that's interesting, Cobra. Thanks for that. Road Trip, he went Super Saiyan. Yes, I did. I absolutely did. Spartacus, that taper at the top is key. Oh, that taper, yes. That taper is at the top is absolute key. When I got my Sherman OG, I played with different seat designs. I made myself the thinner, the better. Okay, the thinner the better. That's right. The fat seat makes it hard to turn. That's correct. And Inmotion, you can tell they have that design philosophy, and not just that. They know what it means to ride a wheel. You can tell that these people ride. Maybe not the CEO, but somebody in there understands wheels and understands the user experience, because that's what's very important is the user experience. I mean, really, dude. I don't know how Abrams missed that. I don't know how Libricam missed that. But it is what it is. Does Inmotion have the best engineers? Inmotion does have the best engineers, yes. But they get caught up by red tape. And the reason they get caught up by red tape is because Inmotion is a real company. I'm not saying Begode is not a real company, but it seems like Inmotion, is on a different level where QA is concerned, where QC is concerned. So, guys, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and staying this late. It's 3 hours and 22 minutes. Please hit the like button. I just want to, that's how you're going to show your appreciation to me and the other guys, Sensei Vegan and the Black Cobra. Shout out to them for coming on. These guys added a ton of energy to the live. I really appreciate that. And hopefully we'll have another live next time. I'm not sure what to have it on, but I'll think of something. I haven't had a live in a long time. This has been a while. So also, I have merchandise that you guys can purchase. This will help me purchase new wheels. And I don't expect to purchase a lot of wheels, guys. I expect to work with other people who have wheels and maybe do reviews that way, because purchasing wheels all the time is not going to be sustainable, even if you guys support me financially. Hopefully work with eWheels a little bit more where they can send me wheels. So we'll see what happens. But you guys are awesome. You guys made this show great. Once again, shout out to the energy that was the Black Cobra and Sensei Vegan. Shout out to Bob. Oh my goodness, I really appreciate him for talking to us and sharing with us all this information, because we are thirsty. We are thirsty for great machines. We are thirsty for quality machines. And while I love Begode, while I absolutely love Gotway, you know, Inmotion is definitely, at the moment, where quality is concerned, where the rider is concerned, I mean, where the future is concerned, it seemed like Inmotion is the way to go. So now I just hope that Begode follows suit, because they copy everything else, right? So now hopefully they follow suit with Inmotion, at least in the safety department. And as far as the material they use and stuff like that, I won't beat them too much on that. But if they can just fix their QC and fix their safety margins, that would be fantastic. Because right now they give us no safety margins, none. Okay, so Supreme Show, Stan, thank you very much. Road Trip, thank you very much. Thank you for the great live. It was fantastic, guys. Sorry I made you guys wait a whole day, but you see that it ended up being better, right? So will pop up in video next. Yeah, so I was gonna drop the link, but I could read people really well, so I didn't want to hold. I didn't want to make the guys feel like they were obligated to stay, because it was going beyond 2 hours, and the whole purpose of the live was to come on here and discuss what Bob shared with us. So next time, yes, I can. You said will pop in video guest. Yeah, so yes, I will do that next time. I will drop the link, and whoever wants to come up will come up and talk. But I will try to make it so that it's something that can be discussed, because sometimes I've dropped the link and nobody comes up, but I could understand why. It's because there's no triggering factor. There's no incentive to talk. Sometimes I like to speak specs. That's me. I like specs because that's what makes me ride the way I ride. And sometimes if I'm just speaking specs and you guys are not interested in specs, then you might not come up, or you might feel intimidated. I don't know. So next time I will definitely drop the link. I will give thought to what the live is going to be, and we'll go from there. But guys, I just want to thank you guys for all of your support by just showing up in this live and making it such a great live. Okay. E. Simon, thank you so much. You stride, great live, very informative and many laughs. I know. This guy's, man, come on, dude. You put us in a room together, Sensei Vegan, the Black Cobra, myself. If EUC Vibes on there, would I mean, you know how it is. You put, and look, guys, if you've never been to a group ride, go to a group ride, whether it be New York or Chicago or wherever, DC. Once it's just this energy that EUC riders have, man. I have been in group rides with one-wheel riders, and it's not the same. It's not the same. EUC riders are we're a different breed, man. And no other PV compares to us. No other, know this. No other, never feel ashamed for riding an EUC. No other EUC, no other PEV compares to the experience of an EUC. No other one. This is unique. This is out of this world. Okay, it's from China, but it's out of this world. The experience is out of this world, man. All right, so guys, it was a pleasure. I keep saying bye, but it's just because it's the live is, I haven't done a live in a long time. I'll read this last one. Legos Guy React says, bought my first EUC V10F Inmotion last year. I'm only just figuring out how to gradually turn, maneuver, and whatnot. Took me so long, but I'm finally getting to it. Yay me. Yay you, Lego Sky. Listen, Lego Sky, it's very simple. The wheel does what you want, okay? Don't force it to do anything. If you're really trying to learn and you're able to balance, all you have to do, just put your hands out a little bit, lean to the left, lean to the right, okay? And then if you don't want to hold your hands out, you can, some people suggest having a shopping cart. Get a shopping cart, because that will kind of force you to, do things. But turning is all about, it's all in your waist. It's all in your waist. So you just lean left, lean right, and it's in your heel toe as well. But I'm not going to go that far. But guys, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys made this life great. So have a good night. Have a good night. I'm trying to play something, but I'm not sure which one I want to play. So you guys have a good night, all right? Have a good night. Oh, he said, I didn't want to hold my hands out. I'd be trying to look cool. Dude, you're funny, dude. Don't worry about looking cool. Don't worry about that. You'll have plenty of time to look cool, Legos. Trust me, you'll have plenty of time to look cool. You know what you should do, Legos? Go in a parking lot somewhere where not many people can see you, or go in a back alley somewhere and learn there. And if you're worried about looking cool or looking funny, okay? And get your skills up. But you'll have plenty of time to look cool. Don't worry about that stuff. All right. Take it easy, guys. Peace. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to add. Okay, that's not it. Hold on for a second. Is this it? Yes, that's what I want to add. All right. So, guys, this is my outro. My outro will be my intro because I didn't prepare anything for you guys. Have a good night. Take care.
Look at that. Wow. Oh my God. Now that's what I'm talking about. That needs to be implemented in every machine.